Chapter 2847 Dean of Donghuang College. Chapter 2847 Dean of Donghuang College. The idea move. The flying sword that was controlling the power of ancient inheritance, however, being wrapped up by the purple crystal, Long Fei's idea was completely unable to penetrate inside. There was no other way. Long Fei could only pick it up and put it away. However, just as he was about to pick up the flying sword, Han Wuya spoke in a gloomy voice. "Kid, do you think it's still yours?" Buzz. A purple crystal light flashed and landed in front of Long Fei. In that instant, the Emperor's aura flooded the entire valley. Lian Wuchao endured the pain in his body, staring at Long Fei like a beast, his eyes filled with killing intent. The Qilin power in his body was also brewing. Long Fei's heart sank, looked at Han Wuya, and said, "It's not mine. Could it be that it's still yours, you monster?" Monster. Creak. These two words seemed to have provoked Han Wuya. The qi on his body suddenly became gloomy and cold. The aura on his body exploded, causing the pressure of the Emperor to explode. Boom. It directly struck towards Long Fei's head. "Kid, do you think that you are worthy to fight against me?" Buzz. The imposing aura exploded inside Long Fei's sea of consciousness. Long Fei's body sank, but he did not feel much pain, and he himself also felt that it was unexpected, because in that instant, the imperial power that was passed to him by the old Night King suddenly exploded, blocking Han Wuya's pressure. "Not worthy. I feel that a monster like you shouldn't have stayed in this world." Long Fei desperately tried to control the flying sword wrapped in the purple crystal. Han Wuya, who can kill Lian Kaijiang, can he also kill the royal realm? No matter what. Even if he had to go all out, he had to give it a try. Buzz buzz buzz. Buzz buzz buzz. The flying sword that was wrapped in purple crystal continuously trembled, but Long Fei was unable to completely control it. Han Wuya saw the flying sword beneath the purple crystal tremble crazily, and his expression tightened. Both of his hands moved, and he suddenly grabbed towards the flying sword, and said with a heavy smile, "It doesn't belong to you." Long Fei's expression changed. He did not care too much, and struck out with his palm, thinking to himself, imperial power, give me some strength, give it to me. Inheritance of the Emperor. Imperial power. Long Fei had this wave of imperial power in his body. But he's not completely under your control. With that palm strike, Long Fei pushed his strength to the limits of his limits. Bam! With a palm strike at Han Wuya's chest, Long Fei's expression tightened. Crap. There was no imperial power. Not only that, the moment Long Fei's palm made contact with his chest, his mind suddenly sunk, because the space under his clothes was incomparably cold and hard. Han Wuya's entire body became purple gold. Not only that, when it came into contact with Han Wuya's body, the compressed God's tribe curse mark on Long Fei's chest suddenly sank and flashed with light. Long Fei suddenly convulsed. The light disappeared, and did not burst out. Violet gold armor, the power of the God's tribe. Seems like I'm not sure about the descendant of God's tribe, or else my curse mark would not be able to hide. Damn you Emperor Xian, I will kill you sooner or later. Long Fei shouted fiercely in his heart. Han Wuya laughed disdainfully. "Are you trying to tickle me? Ha ha ha. Lame duck, just based on your cultivation level, you don't even have the qualifications to die at my hands, do you understand? This treasure is even more unqualified for you." Finished. Han Wuya caught it in his hand. Long Fei's eyes darkened. At this moment, Lian Wuchao, who was at the side, suddenly moved. His entire body turned green, and the Qilin scales faintly appeared on his face. The shadow bit Han Wuya's arm. The power of the Qilin exploded forth. Crack. His arm broke again. The incomparably excited people in the training field said, "Ha ha ha. It's mine now." Han Wuya was enraged, and shouted, "You're courting death." The aura of his body directly crushed Lian Wuchao's body. Boom. The Qilin image was instantly crushed. Without waiting for Lian Wuchao to escape, his body was also instantly crushed to the ground. Poochie. A mouthful of blood spurted out. At this moment, Long Fei did not care anymore as he grabbed the purple crystal that was wrapping around the flying sword and ran towards the underground palace. As long as he ran into the underground palace, Han Wuya wouldn't be able to enter either. As long as he ran into the underground palace, he would be able to destroy the amethyst and let the flying sword return to his pubes. But when Han Wuya took the flying sword away, the corners of Han Wuya's eyes turned sinister, his arms quickly grew out. With a movement of his palms, a huge emperor's chi surged. You think you can escape? Bam! Long Fei was immediately sent flying, and struck a rock not too far away. Rocks shattered. Long Fei's entire body was also in extreme pain, only a fifth of his health point remained. Han Wuya looked at Long Fei coldly, and then walked towards Lian Wuchao. Compared to Long Fei, Lian Wuchao was a lot more threatening. He looked at Lian Wuchao at his feet and laughed sinisterly. Qilin genius. Let's see how many kilins of power are there in your blood vein. His voice sank. Amethyst used both hands to grab onto Lian Wuchao's collar, and was lifted into the air like a dead dog, laughing sinisterly. Qilin? A dead dog. He exerted force with his 5 fingers. The amethyst suddenly flashed. The fingernail on the 5 fingers were like 5 sharp knives that stabbed into Lian Wuchao's chest, directly piercing through. Ooah! Ah! Lian Wuchao let out a painful scream. All the Lian family disciples were scared silly. Han Wuya looked at Lian Wuchao, whose body was trembling and blood was gushing everywhere, his eyes filled with coldness. His left hand moved and directly grabbed towards Lian Wuchao's head. Die! A cold voice. At this moment, a powerful voice resounded. Stop! The power of an emperor spread throughout the skies. Also at this moment, the overbearing power of the emperor was directly binding Han Wuya, causing him to be unable to move at all. It had to be known that Han Wuya's strength was at the level of an emperor. In an instant, he was restricted by a wave of pressure, which showed just how powerful that power was. The voice came from hundreds of kilometers away. A pressure several hundred li away. An extremely terrifying existence. A real powerhouse. Before his voice had even faded, a black figure instantly appeared in the distance. An old man suddenly landed beside Lian Wuchao, stared at him and said solemnly, Wuya, stop. Han Wuya's eyes darkened slightly as well. It was also at this time that the Lian family disciples were stunned. Dean of Donghuang College. It's the principal of the Donghuang College. Oh my god, according to the legends, he was the first one to step into the royal realm, a being even more powerful than the East Imperial City Lord. He actually appeared. He wasn't the only one who appeared, and at the same time. The forces of the clans around the valley all appeared. Chapter 2848 F***CK. Picking up a boss? Chapter 2848 F***CK. Picking up a boss? Everywhere in the valley, students of the Donghuang College appeared. A uniform set of the Donghuang College's uniform. Each of them was full of energy. Elders and disciples all had extraordinary cultivations. The first-rate Chen family, the Lin family, the Ma family, the Murong family. Nobility clan, Zhu clan, Nalan clan. Countless second-rate clans had taken over the entire valley. It could be said. Half of the East Imperial City's forces were all here. They were all looking at Han Wuya, and at the same time, there were a lot of people who were staring at the heavily injured Long Fei, and the flying sword in his hand. Most of what had just happened had caught their eye. Obviously. That flying sword was stronger than any violet gold armor, and it did not have any side effect. Stop. Let him go. Dean of Donghuang College growled, stared at Han Wuya, and said, How did you become like this? His heart ached. A long trail of blood hung from the corner of Lian Wuchao's mouth as he looked at Dean of Donghuang College and said, Principal, save me. Quickly, save me. Han Wuya's body trembled slightly. If he was afraid, then he, Han Wuya, was not even afraid of City Lord Su Wantu. The only person he was afraid of was the Dean of Donghuang College. It was also because of the fear in his heart that he was suppressed by Dean of Donghuang College's pressure in that instant. Why did you become like this? I told you before, not just anyone can fuse the power of the God's tribe. Look at what you have become now, right? The dean of Donghuang College felt great pain. Han Wuya didn't look like a human at all. Amethyst crystals covered his forehead, head, and back, growing out from his body like thorns. He looked like a monster. Han Wuya's eyes trembled slightly. "Teacher, I save you, ah." He started mumbling incoherently. His state of mind instantly went berserk, and in that instant, his amethyst eyes fiercely stared at Dean of Donghuang College, and shouted, "Old thing, what are you talking about? How dare you interfere with me? Kill whoever I want to. No one can do anything about it." While speaking, the power of the purple gold god's tribe on his body exploded, instantly breaking apart the Dean of Donghuang College's suppression. The purple crystal sharp blade on his left hand pierced towards Lian Wuchao. Lian Wuchao's pupils tightened as his body trembled. No, no, no. Dean of Donghuang College's eyes also darkened. Both of his hands moved, and a 8 trigrams pattern appeared on his entire body. One hand pressed against Han Wuya's hand, and then his body rushed forward. Bam! Crack! Both hands were broken. Moreover, Han Wuya retreated a few meters back. Long Fei saw this, and his heart trembled. What a powerful strength. Han Wuya was obviously not in a good mood, and said, "You're courting death." Buzz. His 2 hands grew back, and the amethysts on his body seemed to grow even faster every time he used more strength. With a movement of his purple shadow, he quickly launched an attack. Dean of Donghuang College looked at Lian Wuchao. Both his hands lightly dragged, and a surge of energy protected Lian Wuchao, landing beside the Lian family disciple several hundred meters away. He lightly said, "Quickly, bring him back to the city for treatment." The Lian family disciples did not dare to delay either. The 8,000 disciples quickly evacuated with Lian Wuchao. They did not even bother with his corpse. With the old Chelin, Lian Kaijiang, dead, if any more accidents were to happen to Lian Wuchao, the Lian family would really become a 3-class families and be sent to hell. And that's not the most deadly thing. The most fatal thing was that the Lian family was arrogant and despotic, cruel and merciless. He had received many enemies in the East Imperial City, and once he was reduced to a 3-class families, those enemies would definitely make the Lian family disappear from the East Imperial City forever. He must protect Lian Wuchao. Lian Wuchao's chest was still stuck in the purple crystal. The purple crystal was shining with a cold light. After the Dean of Donghuang College sent Lian Wuchao out, the corners of his eyes twitched. He locked onto Han Wuya, who was rushing towards him, and said indifferently, "Crow, the sea of bitterness is boundless. Return to the shore. If I blast out the energy from your fused violet gold armor fragments, you will be able to recover." As soon as his voice faded, Dean of Donghuang College's aura surged, boundless ocean. Boom, boom, boom. His aura was like a wave, soaring to the sky and dozens of feet high. Moreover, one could see it with the naked eye. It was as if a huge wave was standing tall within the valley. Terrified, he was utterly shocked. What is this power? This is too terrifying. Oh my God, the old headmaster's cultivation has actually reached such a terrifying level. This is definitely not an ordinary imperial power. How many years has it been since I last saw the old headmaster take action? I didn't expect him to be so abnormal now. How terrifying. It was shocking. Extremely shocked. Long Fei's pupils also secretly tightened. Damn, this is F*King. Han Wuya looked up, and the chi on his body also erupted with more power. No, power is what I want. I don't want to look back. I want to become the overlord of East Imperial City. Ah! Both of his fists formed into palms, and streams of power from the amethyst light surged out, slapping towards Dean of Donghuang College. Bang, bang, bang. However, his strength was completely insufficient. Every time the palm landed on Dean of Donghuang College's body, a 8 trigrams pattern would appear on his body, absorbing all the power away. This realm was even more powerful than 1,000 jin. It directly turned into nothingness. Fall. The Dean of Donghuang College moved, and 4 huge waves immediately fell down heavily. When their auras crashed down, it was like a heavy seal being shackled on Han Wuya's body. Han Wuya's body could not move. The dean of Donghuang College spoke out slightly. Once I expel the purple energy from your body, you will be able to recover. His 2 fingers moved as he chanted an incantation. It shifted its focus to Han Wuya. Every time he made a move, Han Wuya would let out a howl. Master, no, don't continue. Kill me, kill me. Han Wuya was in incomparable pain. It was as if his entire body had split apart. Actually, there was no hope for him now. It was just that Dean of Donghuang College didn't want to see her disciple become like this. Looking at Han Wuya's painful expression, his heart sank as he relaxed slightly. Just hold on a little longer. The instant he relaxed, Han Wuya's purple crystal eyes suddenly turned red. He roared, I am the powerhouse of God's tribe, and even you, a mortal, want to oppose me. Die. Boom. The purple light turned into red light, and like a gigantic spear, it pierced straight towards Dean of Donghuang College. Dean of Donghuang College was caught off guard, and his body was pierced by the red lance. At this moment, his hands moved, and the 8 trigrams pattern on his body turned from defense to attack. Boom. Bang. He heavily smashed onto Han Wuya's body, causing him to fly backwards. Bam. It landed heavily, directly beside Long Fei's feet, and there was only a little bit of HP left in the gash on his head. Chapter 2849, Whoever moves my man give it a try. Chapter 2849, Whoever moves my man give it a try. Under his feet, less than a meter away. Moreover, there was only 1 HP remaining on the head. It was clearly a boss, and a big one at that. Long Fei's eyes suddenly twitched. At this moment, he felt some excitement in his heart, some nervousness. Damn, what kind of luck is this? He can pick a boss. It was also at this time. Everyone looked at him. Long Fei did not stay at all. While he was sick, he had to take his life. A man took a step forward and chopped down with his palm at Han Wuya, who was on the verge of death. Die, you monster. Bam. A palm struck down. Boom. A red damage figure floated above Han Wuya's head, 10 very low. However, his HP had dropped to 0. The system also chimed in. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Han Wuya. Rewards, 150,000 experience points. Special, 100,000 true spiritual value, 1 universal value. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining violet gold armor fragment. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining great wisdom palm. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining 1000 soul tracing technique. Do you wish to learn it? Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the myriad spirit purple spirit pill. Congratulations to player Long Fei. The system went berserk. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, Elementalist level, 4. A buzz sounded in his body. His strength increased by quite a bit in an instant. Upgrade again. The injuries on Long Fei's body instantly healed as well. The effect of leveling up was simply too great, and after looking at the experience slot, combined with the accumulated experience from killing Lian Kaijiang, it was about to level up again. Heh. The happiest thing in life is to have a brother, have a woman, and most importantly, kill a boss. Long Fei was elated. However, he did not realize that the powerhouse S from the families that stood on either side of the valley had all slowly walked out. Han Wuya is dead. Not many people cared about him anymore. After all, he had become a monster that no one in his family knew, and he wanted to kill even his own master. However, the thing that he had been snatching away from just now, the sword that was wrapped in purple crystals, was in Long Fei's hands, and everyone here knew that the largest ball of purple gold light had fallen here. They also knew that it was the flying sword in Long Fei's hands. In an instant, their gazes were all focused on Long Fei. Long Fei also felt it. His mind trembled as he looked at the purple crystal in his hand, and thought to himself, since everyone is dead, why hasn't the purple crystal disappeared? If the purple crystal did not disappear, he would not be able to return the flying sword to the pubes. However, with the current situation, even if he retracted his pubes, they would probably tear him apart and dig out his sword. An elder of the Chen family took the lead to speak. Brat, hand over the thing in your hand. It does not belong to you. You are not worthy of it. Long Fei said softly, and if I don't hand it over? He had leveled up now, but he had used all of his trump cards. Let alone the senior realm, even if it was a stage higher than the general level, he wouldn't be able to deal with a spiritual master. The Chen family elder laughed disdainfully. If you don't hand it over, there will only be one outcome for you. That is, you will die here and in a miserable manner. While he was speaking, many clan elders and Powerhouse S walked down the slope and stood not far away from Long Fei. Long Fei was basically surrounded. Han Wuya was controlled by the power of the purple gold. Even so, he still wanted to obtain the power of the flying sword, which showed just how strong it was. Maybe. It is a treasure of the gods' tribe. No one wanted to let go of this opportunity. Even if it was a second-rate family, or an expert from a 3-class families, they would not let go. Let's see who dares. Suddenly, Su Su quickly ran over and stood beside Long Fei. He scanned across and said, "Whoever moves against him will be fighting against my Su family." As soon as he finished, everyone's face slightly darkened. Seeing their expressions tremble slightly, Su Su was a little pleased in his heart and continued to speak. "I hope that all of you uncles can give me some face, and also give the Su family some face. I will definitely repay you greatly in the future." The Su clan was very strong. It could be said to be the strongest family in the East Imperial City. Su Wantu's daughter, healing the Su clan. Why is she here? The daughter of the mayor. They all felt fear towards the Su clan members of the City Lord's mansion. However, they did not retreat. Instead, they were more afraid of the Su family as they wanted the flying sword in Long Fei's hands. They all looked at each other in dismay. One of the experts said, "The Su family is indeed powerful, and City Lord Su Wantu is also a commander of the East Imperial City, but this place is not the East Imperial City, and it is not under the Su family's control, so Miss Su, please be sensible. We will not touch him if you hand over the things in your hands, but if you do not hand it over." Heh. He sneered coldly. Tan De Pao shouted, "What can you do about it? You want to snatch it? Come on." Tan De Pao had a bad temper. He didn't care about all that. If that's the case, those who have the right to own treasures, with your cultivation and identity, you aren't even worthy enough to own it. Stop wasting time with him. Either hand it over, or die. They had lost patience. In the presence of such a great treasure, they would not care about such things. They were like a group of sharks that had smelled blood. Long Fei's heart sank, looked at the underground palace behind him, and said faintly, "You guys retreat first." As long as he retreated into the underground palace, he would be safe. Moreover, this was the western regions, the territory of the Night Valley, so humans did not dare to stay too long. Once the people from the other tribes of Night Valley arrived, they would naturally retreat. Su Su immediately asked, "What about you?" Long Fei said, "Don't worry about me, I will catch up to you guys. Remember, when you enter the underground palace, immediately close the door. I will rush over when it closes." Without waiting for Long Fei to finish speaking, one of the early stage honored warrior suddenly moved and bellowed, "Why are you wasting your breath? It's mine." A sudden attack. He had been secretly operating his energy for a long time, and with the sudden explosion, his speed was astonishing. Long Fei's mind went cold. "Fuck." With a deep voice, he shouted, "Run." His 2 hands moved, and a thick stream of true spirit appeared. His hands moved, great wisdom palm. It was a martial skill that he had just used. A palm struck out. Bam! Long Fei retreated explosively. His internal organs felt as if they were rolling about, feeling abnormally uncomfortable. The old man did not move at all, his lips curled up in a sneer. "Fight against me with palm strength. You're still far from it. Kid, just obediently hand it over." After he moved, the surrounding experts also started to move in unison. Long Fei endured the pain, and was once again surrounded. "If you have the guts, come and take it." Extremely displeased. "Then die." Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Dozens of figures suddenly moved, and pounced at Long Fei, causing his scalp to go numb. Fuck. At this moment, a bloody shadow descended, and with a cold voice, he said, Whoever moves against my man, give it a try. Chapter 2850 East Imperial City Lord, Su-Wan-Tu. Chapter 2850 East Imperial City Lord, Su-Wan-Tu. Blood shadow covered the sky and then disappeared. It was like a flock of blood crows. As soon as he finished, a woman stood beside Long Fei. She was dressed in blood red, had fiery red lips, cold and arrogant eyes, like a queen. The clothes he wore were also very simple. Sexy figure, convex and alluring, fully displayed. He couldn't help but swallow his saliva. Extreme temptation, Queen of Blood Moon. Maturity, sexiness, sensibility, skin, figure, everything that emanated from her body had completely suppressed those so-called peerless beauties. Not only that, the most important thing was that the aura emitted from her body was equally strong. The instant his figure landed, the aura on his body immediately blocked the people charging towards Long Fei, and forcefully forced him to retreat, as he fiercely tumbled on the ground. Try touching my man. Queen of Blood Moon stood in front of Long Fei, protecting him. Her gaze was ice-cold, and within it was killing intent. Her eyes told everyone that whoever dared to even touch Long Fei would die. Long Fei mumbled, and said, "Isn't it too high profile?" Queen of Blood Moon looked at Long Fei with a gentle gaze and even had a hint of spoiled tone as he said, "I don't care, I just want to keep a high profile. I'll kill whoever dares to even touch you." This tone. A normal man wouldn't be able to stand such a tender gaze. This caused the surrounding people to feel envy and hatred. How could a muggle like Long Fei be liked by such a beautiful lady? "May I know who this lady is?" an old man asked while enduring the throbbing in his heart. The tone of the Queen of Blood Moon turned into that of a queen and he said, "What does my name have to do with you? If I were you, I would leave right now." Not giving any face. Other than Long Fei, she did not need to give anyone else face. The old man's expression changed slightly. The crowd burst into an uproar. Who is this woman? Damn, what kind of luck did this kid surnamed Long have? Such a peerless beauty would actually like a piece of trash like him? I wouldn't have believed it if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes. Heavens, is there really such a thing as being blind in this world? This is really killing me, my eyes are going blind. Is there still justice? I don't believe in love anymore. Countless young men's hearts shattered. The older generation was also unable to resist the enticement of Queen of Blood Moon's body, but they were not like the younger generation, who could control it. Moreover, to beauties, they wanted the flying sword in Long Fei's hands more. It was also at this time Dean of Donghuang College finally recovered from the pain of Han Wuya's death. Looking at Queen of Blood Moon with both eyes, his voice sank slightly. "Spirit King?" As soon as he finished, everyone was shocked, and the entire valley suddenly quieted down. They all stared at Queen of Blood Moon. Is she the Ghost King? How can such a beautiful woman be the Ghost King? Could it be that this kid is also from the Ghost Cave? The Queen of Blood Moon didn't try to hide it either. He glanced at the Dean of Donghuang College and said, "That's right, I'm the Ghost King of the Ghost Hole. Don't provoke me, otherwise, I'll make all of you tremble even in your dreams." Scram. Wang. His voice shook, exuding a powerful pressure. Those experts and powerhouse all felt their hearts sink. Feeling the immense pressure, they didn't even dare to look straight into Queen of Blood Moon's eyes. Tan Depao was extremely excited. Sister-in-law is mighty, sister-in-law is domineering, sister-in-law is awesome, hey. Su stared at Queen of Blood Moon with jealousy. Another one, I have to line up from the back again, what's going on? It was so angry. In any case, it was still better than her. Even if it was her identity, she couldn't compare. The Ghost King of the Ghastly Cave was far more powerful than her daughter. Complete defeat. Su muttered, "How did they know each other?" Tan Depao said, "Last time, when we exterminated Gui Shou's group in the Ghastly Cave, we mistakenly entered the Ghastly Cave General Assembly, and that's how we got to know each other," Su said. "Then how does Big Brother Long Fei follow the Spirit King?" Tan Depao looked at Long Fei's back with a deep expression. After thinking for a while, he muttered, "I don't know, but it's probably because Brother Fei is too handsome. His charisma is unstoppable." His eyes were filled with envy. Su looked at Long Fei, and muttered, any woman would be enchanted by him. Queen of Hells. Even though the Ghost Cave and the East Imperial City had coexisted peacefully, but the Ghost Cave is an evil demon after all, you can kill it if you want. Since the Spirit King appeared today, it is a good opportunity to exterminate it together with the Night Valley. An old man slowly walked out, looked at Dean of Donghuang College and said, Principal, Lord, what do you say? This time, it's a good opportunity for us to eliminate them together. Just the Ice Origin and Insect Valley's two great demons are unable to cause any harm to the East Imperial City. You're right. Right, we can't give them any chance. Such a beautiful Ghost King. If I'm able to enjoy it, then. As soon as he finished. Suddenly, a ray of blood-red light shot out from Queen of Bloodmoon's body, making him look like a blood crow. Wow! With a shout, the head of the spiritual master level expert exploded and the blood crow crawled inside. In the blink of an eye, an expert died. His blood essence was swallowed up. It was a tragic sight. The entire audience went silent. Queen of Bloodmoon asked coldly, eliminate them? Come, let's go together. Long Fei laughed blandly, I said to get rid of him, but I'm afraid you guys want the thing in my hands more? That was the main point. The old man's gaze darkened, kill them, even if you enter the Ghost Hell Barrow Queen has 10 lives, you will not be able to escape. Many elders and family heads listened to the order, whoever kills the Ghost Hell Queen will have the treasure in that kid's hands. She alone is not a match for us. There were many of them. The entire valley was filled with people from the East Imperial City. Hearing the summons, many clan elders were eager to give it a try. Long Fei's brows tightened as he looked at Queen of Bloodmoon and said, let's retreat into the underground palace. It's very safe there. Queen of Bloodmoon looked at Long Fei and smiled gently. Don't worry, with me here, I won't let anyone hurt a single hair on your head. Dean of Donghuang College was severely injured. She wasn't afraid of anyone here. Moreover, there was someone in East Imperial City, but did she not? Queen of Bloodmoon said coldly, 3,000 ghost generals, descend at the same time. Buzz. A buzz resounded, followed by a series of explosions in the air. Each and every ghost general seemed to have crawled out from hell as the 3,000 ghost generals instantly stood on both sides of Queen of Bloodmoon. His aura was savage and savage. His body was emitting yin qi. It was like a ferocious ghost. Everyone's gaze tightened as they immediately halted their steps. Dean of Donghuang College said lightly, Ghost Concealment Spell. Just as he finished speaking, another voice came from the other end of the valley, what a powerful ghost concealment spell, bringing 3,000 ghost generals with you without anyone noticing. Seems like this year's Ghost Cave Ghost King is even stronger. While they were talking, from the side of the valley, the Golden Guards rushed out in unison. East Imperial City Lord, Su Wantu is here. Chapter 2851 It's always been. Chapter 2851 It's always been City Lord's Mansion Guards, golden armor. Under the scorching sun, the golden light shone everywhere, making it seem especially powerful. Su Wantu stood in mid-air. The expressions of all the powerhouse and elders within the valley changed slightly. At the same time, Queen of Bloodmoon's eyes also became cold on the inside. Dean of Donghuang College was injured, she was not afraid. But East Imperial City Lord Su Wantu's cultivation. The old Spirit King had once said that the Su Wantu of the East Imperial City was unfathomable. Queen of Bloodmoon's gaze turned slightly cold. The mayor is here. Ha ha ha. Now let's see how you two can still act so arrogantly. Kid, I've said it before, the thing in your hand does not belong to you. Ha ha ha. Long Fei had never seen Su Wantu before, he didn't even know what kind of person he was. But he knew one thing, the powerhouse was respected, this kind of person would never let go of any treasures. Zhong Xian narrowed his eyes. Su heard the discussions of the crowd and immediately ran out. He turned around and said loudly, Daddy, Daddy, I'm here, they want to bully Big Brother Long Fei, they want to snatch whatever is in Big Brother Long Fei's hands, and beat them all away. Let's see if they still dare. Without waiting for Su to finish, Su Wantu's voice sunk. With a heavy tone, he said, have you caused enough trouble? Go back. It was also at this time An old man moved and landed beside Su, and said, "Miss, let's go back." Looking at the old man, Su was like a deflated ball, unable to muster up any strength at all. She could only mutter under her breath with a face full of unwillingness. He looked at Long Fei and said, "Big brother Long Fei, I'll go to my father's place first." "Don't worry, I will definitely let him protect you," Su giggled. Originally, he didn't need her. Now that he needed her, he was really happy inside. At least, he could still use her a little. When the Su clan appeared, the aristocrats and the strength of the first-tier clans did not dare to act rashly. However, the only thing that Su was worried about was the relationship between Long Fei and the Queen of Bloodmoon, and their relationship. Not only was he the new Night King, he was also the Ghost Cave Queen's man, and what his father hated the most were these evil monsters. Similarly, Queen of Bloodmoon knows too. Yi Mai and the three sisters walked out. The elders of the Night Valley also walked out, all of them protecting Long Fei from the sides. Seems like this kid has quite a deep relationship with the Night Valley and the Ghost Hole. With so many women protecting him, this Xiao Bai sure is awesome. But unfortunately, he won't be able to live today. The Su family hates demons the most. Just based on his crime of colluding with the Night Valley, he has to die. Su Wantu hates demons and devils to the bones. This kid is just waiting for death. Everyone knew Su Wantu's character. Big Sis Yi Mai said, "How much time does it take for the other tribes to arrive?" "There's still a lot of time. I'm afraid we won't make it. Furthermore, Su Wantu is here. Even if the people from the other tribes of Night Valley were to rush to us, they would not be able to stop him." A few of the Night Valley elders clenched their fists. In his heart, he also hated Su Wantu to the extreme. "City Lord, make your move. It just so happens that we can exterminate them all." "That's right. Kill them all. Let them know that this western regions is controlled by us, the human race. It is our East Imperial City's territory." The great families all shouted loudly. Dean of Donghuang College was very calm. "Daddy, you can't do this. I just like him. He saved me, so you can't do this. Daddy, I'll promise you anything you say. Please let him go, okay?" In the distance, Su and Su Wantu started an argument. However, not long after, Su was brought out of the valley. Su Wantu coldly snorted, looked at Long Fei and said, "Brat, hand the thing over." Long Fei's heart tightened. As expected, Queen of Bloodmoon looked at Long Fei and said, "You can choose not to. I will protect you." Long Fei smiled lightly, and said, "It's just a spirit treasure, nothing much." A soul treasure? The flying sword was the power of ancient inheritance. How could it be comparable to a spirit treasure? Furthermore, Long Fei had already experienced its might. The venerable powerhouse was able to kill it with a single slash. How important was it? However, to Long Fei, any spirit treasure was not as important as any of his friends. Besides, there was his woman. Long Fei looked at Su Wantu, and said, "All right, I'll hand it over." As soon as he finished, the clan elders and elders of the East Imperial City all revealed scornful laughter. Arrogant. No matter how arrogant he is, even if there is a Queen of Ghastly Cave, she wouldn't be able to protect it, right? Ha ha ha. Let's see how long he can remain arrogant. When he hands over the items, we'll kill him immediately. They laughed. This world was like this. The strong preyed on the weak. If he didn't hand it over, he would die. Dean of Donghuang College looked at Long Fei. His eyes were a little surprised by Long Fei's actions. Long Fei said indifferently, "I have no problem handing it over, but, Sir City Lord, can you let go of Night Valley and the people from the Ghost Cave?" He knew in his heart. The Queen of Bloodmoon's Ghastly Cave and Night Valley were currently not a match for Su Wantu in terms of their power levels. Queen of Bloodmoon had just become the Spirit King. Her position was not very stable. If something were to happen, her position would very likely be shaken, let alone the Night Valley. Old Night King had died, and was heavily injured by him. Currently, his strength had greatly decreased, and he would need a very long time to recover. Su Wantu said indifferently, "Hand over the things first." "Not at all. Hand over the item first." Long Fei did not hesitate and threw it with all his might. The flying swords were thrown into the air, and many people raised their heads to look. Their eyes were filled with greed, but they did not move. Furthermore, it was useless for them to move. Su Wantu moved his right hand, and a powerful force immediately sucked the flying sword in. Looking at the flying sword that was wrapped in purple crystal, Su Wantu did not have any change in expression. A cold voice. "Let's go." With that, Su Wantu turned and left. Everyone was shocked. "City Lord, where are they? What? Why did he leave?" "City Lord." Dean of Donghuang College gave a faint smile and also said softly, "All right, Donghuang College's people will leave as well." Another wave of people left. There were only a dozen or so family members left in the Night Valley, and they didn't have much confidence in dealing with the 3,000 ghost generals in the ghastly cave. Furthermore, the flying swords had already been taken away by Su Wantu. Even if they killed the 3,000 ghost generals, what could the Night Valley do? All of them looked at Long Fei as they gnashed their teeth. However, there was no other way. The anger in his heart was boundless, but he could only suppress it as he shouted, "Let's go." All of a sudden, the people of Night Valley left quickly. Queen of Blood Moon turned around to look at Long Fei, and said, "I'll definitely get that thing back for you." Long Fei smiled faintly and said, "It hasn't left this entire time. Don't worry, it will return." Long Fei had already fused with the pubes, and its pubes was the root of the flying sword. No matter where it was, as long as it was not bound by the purple gold, it would be able to retract him. And because of that, Long Fei gave his flying sword to Su Wantu. Otherwise, he would have fought with all his might to obtain a strand of ancient inheritance. Yi Mai and the other two sisters walked forward and said, "Thank you." Long Fei smiled and said, "What are you thanking me for? I am the Night King, this is what I should do." The system sounded out the moment he finished speaking. Ding. Chapter 2852, The Reward of the Ox Being. Chapter 2852, The Reward of the Ox Being. The system prompt suddenly sounded, causing Long Fei's heart to tremble. Damn, I almost forgot about the mission. A day's time was almost up. If the time limit was exceeded, then the mission would be considered a failure. If the mission failed, then the result would be he was killed by the system. Hearing the system beep, Long Fei heaved a sigh of relief. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for completing the quest. Obtain task reward, 100 million points of experience points, draw a random prize, evolve a new system once, and capture the hearts of the 3 Yi Mai sisters. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. The current level is Elemental Level 5. Ding. System notification. Do you want to start the lottery? Long Fei did not immediately start the lottery draw. He wanted to know what the new system had evolved to. Ding. System prompt. System evolution. A progress bar immediately appeared in Long Fei's system interface. A few seconds later, the system beeped. Ding. System prompt. Obtain garbage collection system. FUT. System your ass, after all this time, you finally managed to create a garbage collection system. Recycling your head. Long Fei was so angry that he almost vomited blood. He had thought that there would be some crazy system, but he didn't expect it to be a recycling system. It's not that useful, is it? Immediately, Long Fei did not pay any attention to this. Looking at the random drawing, he gulped down a few mouthfuls of saliva, and muttered under his breath, "Activate. Come, come, come. Get me a powerful holy artifact." Long Fei was a little excited in his heart. He had not drawn a prize in the Universal Realm before, so it was reasonable to say that the items that the Universal Realm had drawn should not be too bad. The system started the lottery draw. A ray of fluorescent light sprinkled out and a box shining with the radiance of stars landed on the interface. Long Fei clicked on it and thought to himself, "Ha sa, give me some strength." Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Making Technique. Do you wish to cultivate it? Making Technique. Looking at the secret manual floating on the interface, Long Fei felt as if ice water was being poured on his feet. From heaven to hell, the entire area was covered. F*CK. Making Technique. Make your sister? What nonsense is this? Can't you give me a holy artifact and let me act cool? Making technique, what did I ask you to create? The anger in Long Fei's heart burst uncontrollably. It was unstoppable. Why not draw something? Yet he had drawn a useless skill book. This was too miserable. Immediately. Long Fei immediately said as he thought about the system that had just evolved, recycling. What a rotten thing. Ding. System notification. The making technique can recover 100 million experience points. Are you sure you want to recover it? Long Fei was startled. Just as he was about to say the word confirm, the words stuck in his throat and he forcibly pushed them back. How much? Long Fei's eyes were as wide as bull's eyes. How much experience points? Damn, this garbage collection system is for recycling experience points. I'll go. In the past, they had only recovered exchange value, but could exchange for items in the commercial market. However, this was very straightforward, and directly converted into experience points. This would be even more beneficial to Long Fei, which meant that he would need various types of powerful spirit treasures to infinitely level up. In other words, there was one more way for him to level up. The system is awesome. The system is mighty. Ha ha ha. Awesome. Long Fei became excited. The recovery system was not the main point. The main point was the recovery of the making technique. He stared at the experience points that appeared on the recovery system. Oh my god, 1 billion. A whole 1 billion experience. If I were to recycle it, I would at least be able to break through to the Psycho realm. 1 billion experience was just too much. A garbage collection system. Anything that is placed here for recycling is just trash. A 1 billion experience trash is worth at least 10 billion. Long Fei was slightly shocked. When he took out the making technique, Long Fei did not look at its attributes and thought that it was just a skill book. It was not really useful. But now, Gudong. Long Fei carefully clicked on Give Up to Recover, then became secretly excited. What exactly is worth so much experience? I have to study it carefully. Technique, making technique, auxiliary method, grade, none proficiency, none cooldown, none consumption, none description. Various powerful materials and strengths will be used to create different kinds of super strong armors. The armor's level will change according to the materials and the strength. Description 2. The armor can be upgraded by 3 to 10 levels. Damn. So that's how the armor is made. Long Fei muttered and immediately thought of the family that the One Piece's Twisted Eyebrow Mountain governed. They had an incomparably powerful battle uniform system, and once they put it on, they were as if they were two completely different people. Is it because I can make this armor? Heh. However, not only that. This was only one of them, the more powerful armor that could be combined with a super robot, such as Huang Taiping's Super Mecha, or Ultraman. F***CK. This is F***King too much. Long Fei's eyes flashed with a bright light. He could not wait to immediately produce a few super battle armors. He was truly overpowered. There is no cooldown, no consumption, and there is also no proficiency. That is to say, it does not need to rely on proficiency to level up. It is a full level in itself. So exciting. Long Fei's face was flushed red. He was extremely excited. What's the matter with you? Queen of Blood Moon asked with concern. Huh? Long Fei regained his composure, as he swallowed back the saliva that was about to pour out, and said, nothing. Oh right, do you still have more obsidian stones from the ghastly cave? Long Fei immediately wanted to produce a few super battle armors. The Queen of Blood Moon smiled faintly as he looked at the three sisters. What else do we need in Night Valley? There are ores here that are even more powerful than the obsidian stone, God's stainless steel. God's stainless steel. It was a type of ore that grew deep underground only on the surface of the earth. It absorbed the power from the veins and was a high-grade material for artifact forging, a grade higher than that of the obsidian stone. In the western regions, this kind of ore was only found in the Night Valley. Big Sister Yimai said, there are a lot. Night King, how much do you need? Long Fei said, as much as you have. Big Sister Yimai immediately said, all right, I will immediately send people to prepare it. The Queen of Blood Moon said slightly, all right, Those people from East Imperial City have already withdrawn from the Night Valley. I should also leave now. Long Fei looked at Queen of Bloodmoon, and the expression in his eyes flickered slightly as he said, "Why don't you stay here tonight?" Queen of Bloodmoon smiled faintly, and said, "I want to stay, and the Lun family wants you again. But tonight is their big day, so I won't join in the fun." Huh! Long Fei was startled. Queen of Bloodmoon pulled the three sisters over and muttered a few words under her breath. The three sisters' faces all turned red from embarrassment. Chapter 2853 Production of Super Armor. Chapter 2853 Production of Super Armor. Queen of Bloodmoon left the Night Valley with 3,000 ghost generals. The sky darkened. Long Fei thought that there was no need to rush back to the East Imperial City. Furthermore, with his current cultivation, compared to those clan elders, the powerhouse was not even worth mentioning. Once they went back, if anyone else caused trouble, they wouldn't even have the ability to protect themselves if they used all their trump cards. If not for Queen of Bloodmoon rushing over in time, his fate would have been very miserable. "Brother Fei, I'm going to go cultivate. I heard that deep in the Night Valley's underground palace, there is an extremely rich underground breath of true spirit. I'll go try it out," Tan De Pao said seriously. Long Fei's cultivation was constantly getting stronger, his speed was too slow, and had been dragging his feet the entire time. Tan De Pao's heart was not at ease, but actually, he was training very hard. He was very clear that with his own physique, blood veins could not even compare to the native warriors of Universal Realm. He could only make up for his inadequacies in physique by giving more effort than others. Plus, he had lost an arm. Long Fei said, "Go." Deep in the night, Long Fei sat cross-legged in an exquisite room and transformed into normal practice mode. Little by little, he began to comprehend it. He continued to temper them bit by bit. This process was extremely slow, but every single point made Long Fei excited. He himself was very tiny, like a speck of dust in the universe. But he felt like he could see the entire universe clearly. It was very strange. After a small matter, huff. As Long Fei's energy returned to the pubes, his entire body relaxed slightly as he slowly exhaled the turbid air in his body. He felt an indescribable sense of relaxation from head to toe, and the system's notification sound also sounded out. Ding. System notification. You have received 70,213 experience points. A lot more. Seems like my normal practice mode is steadily increasing as well. Maybe I'll be able to get 1,000,000 experience in 1 hour. Long Fei smiled faintly. At this moment, the room door was gently pushed open, and the three Yimai sisters walked in. Her face was still red. He took off his veil. Furthermore, the clothes worn by the three of them were exceptionally hot. They were tight, and their figures were vividly sketched, causing one to be unable to take their eyes off them. The 3 pairs of eyes were filled with confusion. Long Fei said softly, "You haven't rested yet, is there anything you need?" The elder sister stammered, "Night King, the god Stainless Steel has prepared 3,000 catties. It should reach 2,000 catties tomorrow." "So many." Long Fei trembled slightly, and said, "Thank you for your hard work." The second brother added, "The people from the other tribes of Night Valley have also arrived. Because it is late in the night, they might disturb Night King's rest. They will come again 3 days later to pay their respects." Long Fei nodded, and said, "Oh, got it. Anything else?" The 3 of them lowered their heads. As his hands played with the corners of his clothes, his face became even redder, so red that it seemed as if juice could drip out of it. Long Fei said, "If you have anything to say, say it." The 3 were silent again, as if they had something to say. Long Fei was also puzzled. Finally, the third brother couldn't hold it in any longer and said, We are here to sleep with you." After saying that, her face became as red as a bright red apple. Huh! Long Fei did not manage to react. "What?" The big sister said, "You helped us kill the old man Huang, avenged us, and saved our Night Clan and Night King. More importantly, the 3 of us took off our veils for you at the same time. We once swore that we would only remove our veils to the people we love, and after taking it off, we would marry him. So, The second brother continued, originally the three of us were split up, but Sister Ghost King said that you were particularly good in that aspect, and the three of us didn't understand anything, so we came together. All three said, don't say anything else, let's attack together. Without waiting for Long Fei to react, all three immediately rushed forward and pounced into Long Fei's embrace. Long Fei fell back onto the bed. Then, all three's mouth was gagged. The same went for the second boss. He took off his clothes and walked over. The three of them were exactly the same, even the body was the same. That night, Long Fei did not stop at all. It was an incomparably happy night. Early morning. Long Fei's eyelids moved slightly. He glanced left and right, and realized that the three Yimai sisters had already left. He stood up slightly, looked at the incredibly messy bed, and smiled. When he saw the 3 bloodstains on the bedsheets that looked like fresh flowers, Long Fei's heart ached. From today onwards, you are my, Long Fei's, women. I will do my best to give you the best. At this time, an elder spoke out from outside, Lord Night King, breakfast is ready, and the god stainless steel is also prepared. Would you like to eat breakfast first, or go see the god stainless steel first? Long Fei said, together. The elder immediately replied, understood. When Long Fei walked out of the room, the people of Night Valley Clan all bowed in respect. What happened yesterday had greatly changed their view of Long Fei. In their hearts, Long Fei was the Night King, the irreplaceable Night King, so this is the god's stainless steel. On a small underground plaza, Long Fei looked at a piece of steel that was shining with a bright light, and was overjoyed. The power in this ore is too strong. If we can use them to create a set of armor, that would be awesome. Heh. An inexplicable sense of excitement rose up. Long Fei also did not stay there for long and immediately said, I want to go into seclusion here. I want to manage the affairs of the Night Valley first for the Night Empress, and other than that, no one else is allowed to come here without my permission. Yes, sir. Everyone quickly left. They didn't know what Long Fei was going to do, but Night King's order was everything. Looking at the large pile of god's stainless steel, Long Fei lightly said, let's start with what? Let's practice first. Huff. Long Fei let out a light breath and said, make one for each of the Night Empress first. This can be considered my gift to them. What kind of armor should I make? It must not be too heavy or too big. It would be best if it's tight and sexy. This is what my woman has to do to increase her charm. Then, an image appeared in Long Fei's mind, cat girl. Hee. That's it. The strength of the Yimai sisters were biased towards speed. Long Fei also wanted to turn them into the real Yimai, the kind that came and went without a trace. The cat girl's battle uniform matched their words perfectly. If they could successfully produce it, they would definitely like it. Not just the 3 Yimai sisters. And Fu Shishan, Lan Mai, and the others also needed battle gear, but they needed more protective gear. Long Fei picked up a piece of god's stainless steel, and it moved, making technique. Then, an unusual power appeared in his body. This power was not some strong injurious power, but a type of auxiliary power. It's starting. Battle armor creation. Chapter 2854, 6 tribes coming to force the palace. Chapter 2854, 6 tribes coming to force the palace. There was no proficiency. No cooldown. Even more so, it didn't require the consumption of his true spiritual value. As long as his stamina could keep up, Long Fei could continue to produce more. However, if he wanted to successfully make the armor, it would not be an easy task, at least. Long Fei heard only one kind of system beep in a row for 2 hours. Ding. System notification. Production failed. Ding. System notification. Production failed. Ding. System notification. Production failed. This voice was like a loop without any limits, and it made Long Fei's eardrums turn cocoon when he heard it. Even though it failed. However, Long Fei was also summing up his experiences. It's too fast. The outline is too slow. Fail. Uneven control of power. Failure. The fusion rate of the god's stainless steel is too low. Failure. Fail. Fail. He continuously failed, and Long Fei was not discouraged. The making technique did not have an ancient power, and he was also unable to use it. He could only rely on himself to continuously search around. It was just like walking in the dark. Whether he could reach the right path or not, he could only continue forward in search of the correct path. Fail. Ding. System notification. Refining failed. Ding. For an entire day, Long Fei wasted over 1,000 kilograms of God's stainless steel. Just the value of these fine steels sold in the East Imperial City would be up to 10 million grand mist crystals. For the rest of the day, he didn't even hear a single successful prompt. They were all failures. Long Fei did not give up. What is the Lord Night King doing? So many God's stainless steel, this is the annual production rate of our Night Valley. That's right, the Night Valley is maintained by God's stainless steel, if not, it would be hard to maintain it. What are you guys worried about? If we did not have the Lord Night King, would we still be able to stand here? It's not like you guys didn't see how much Night King gave for us, and how do you know if he's helping our Night Valley forge weapons? Exactly. No matter what Night King does, I will support him. We also support him. We admire and respect this young Night King, but what about the other tribes? Yesterday, the leaders of the other tribes were here, and their faces were very unsightly. If it wasn't for the elders stopping them, they would have started last night. I also heard that the other tribes seem to have joined forces to deal with Night King. They will be coming to Night Valley in 3 days to discuss the abolition of the human Night King. If they come to abolish the Night King, I will be the first to refuse. Humans were humans after all. Even if he had saved Night Valley clan before, he was still a human. The choice of the old Night King also made a lot of people from the Night Valley clan to not understand. Those tribes that were not in the Night Valley also did not understand. Why would they choose a human as the Night King? Was there no one left at the Night King's place? When the humans left, the Night Valley was at peace. After everyone quieted down, many people would think of all sorts of questions. Big sis, do you want to tell Night King? Yi Mai and his 2 brothers frowned as they looked at the invitation card on the table. The third brother was displeased and asked, why? What qualifications do they have to abolish the Night King? The second brother said with a smile, if the commanders of the several great tribes join hands, they would indeed have the right to abolish the Night King as well. But they have no idea what the Night King has done for us. No way. I don't care so much. If anyone abolishes the Night King, I will be the first one to not forgive them. She had already treated Long Fei as her kin, her man. The boss also said slightly, third sister is right. We are the Night King's women. If they want to abolish the Night King, then they have to get past us first. We'll wait here for them. No matter what others say or laugh at, we will have a clear conscience. Besides, there are still Ghost King sis supporting us. They made up their minds. They were now Long Fei's women, so no matter what they did, the first thing they thought of was Long Fei. Even though they didn't know how long Long Fei could stay in the Night Valley, or whether he would come back after he leaves. They didn't know what Long Fei treated them as, but once they choose, they would walk straight into the dark. Because they are the Night King's women. The next day. Ding. System notification. Refining failed. Who? Long Fei was covered in sweat, his clothes were drenched in sweat. Upon hearing the word failure, his heart tensed up, just a bit more, just a bit more. Another failure. This was the closest he had ever come to success. Huff, huff, huff. Long Fei gasped for breath heavily, looking at the materials that were wasted, his eyebrows tightened. I must succeed. I must definitely leave the Night Valley. The Night Valley must definitely be managed by Night Empress, and they must have the power to shake the Night Valley. Their cultivation level combined with the power of the battle uniform should be enough. Again, Long Fei's heart tensed up, and he started crafting once again. Ding. Fail. Ding. Fail. Another day went by, and each time it came close. At night. Ding. System notification. Production successful. Long Fei was overjoyed. Ha ha ha. We finally succeeded. But when he took out the successfully made battle armor, Long Fei's eyes rolled and he almost fainted in shock. He wanted to make the Catgirl's battle armor, but the one he made wasn't a cat girl, but an elephant battle armor instead. Not only was it extremely clumsy, it was also extremely ugly. He threw it to the side. Again. Ding. Fail. Ding. In the blink of an eye, another night passed. Other than once success, Long Fei still failed constantly, but he felt that he was getting closer and closer to success every time. He's here. The commanders of 6 tribes are here. Not only that, they brought all of the tribe's warrior here, and all of the people surrounding the Night Valley are here. Are they here to discuss it? You must be here to force your way into the palace, right? Within the underground palace. A sturdy old man walked into the underground palace and immediately roared, "Get that trash human out." As soon as he finished, voices echoed in the underground palace. The Yimai sisters and many elders quickly walked out. At the same time, the people of 6 tribes also walked forward. Yimai and the 3 sisters couldn't help but feel nervous when they saw the 6 tribes' situation. It was also at this time. Long Fei let out a light breath as the idea moved. "Sister Xiao Qian, it's your time again." 8 stars to support Nai Xiao Qian. She was a support, so she was more able to help Long Fei to avoid detours. Moreover, Long Fei's current making technique had already been cultivated to a certain realm, and could be controlled. At this time, letting Nai Xiaoqian out was a better, more beautiful, and perfect time. Chapter 2855. Causing Trouble. Chapter 2855. Causing Trouble? Master. Nai Xiaoqian's gentle voice sounded. Dressed in white, she floated lightly in front of Long Fei. She was different from Ake and Annie Road. Thus, if Long Fei did not reveal her, she would not be seen by anyone. Long Fei looked at her pitiful expression and asked, "Can you help me make the battle uniform?" With her current 2-star loyalty, she would not reject Long Fei's request too much. However, it would not be possible for her to go all out. However, Long Fei had a trump card. The idea moved, activate 100 charm value. The aura on Long Fei's body and his extraordinary temperament, in addition to the slight change in his outer appearance, immediately caused Nai Xiaoqian's eyes to tremble and flash with an unusual light. Nai Xiaoqian immediately nodded. Long Fei rejoiced in his heart. Damn, any big move is useless. A charm value at full strength is the most powerful move, one that can even confuse ghosts. Ha ha ha. This was the complete set of charm value. Even men could be bewitched, let alone a female ghost. Of course. Unless one was also someone who was at the peak of the charm value, they would all be captivated by Long Fei's 100 points of charm value. Alright, then let's begin. Long Fei moved slightly, once again entering the process of making the armor. He had only succeeded once in the past 2 days, and it was a coincidence at that. The number of times he failed now reached close to 10,000. Summing up all these experiences, coupled with the power of an 8-star supporting Nai Xiaoqian, success wouldn't be far. Looking at the pile of abandoned materials behind him, God's stainless steels were almost used up. If they did not succeed, then there would really be no materials left. Long Fei was secretly nervous. Nai Xiaoqian helped them from the side. The 2 of them had the same teamwork as last time with alchemy, so their teamwork this time was even more coordinated. Moreover, it had to be said that the 8 stars' supporting abilities were beyond Long Fei's imagination. 10 minutes later, ding. System notification. Production successful. A sharp and clear system beeps caused Long Fei's eyes to shine. Success? Hee. Opening up the system, he immediately checked and was slightly stunned. I still want it. This battle uniform is too clumsy, too bulky, and it doesn't look too good. I want to create a battle uniform that looks like liquid. Soft, but tight the moment I wear it. It's more or less right for the men to wear this set of battle clothes, but it's still not good enough for the Yimai and Yimai sisters to wear. Again, Long Fei threw himself in again. Get that useless human out here. What is a cowardly turtle? Do you really think such a person has the qualifications to become our king of Night Valley? I, your father, am also the first to refuse to accept this. Get him out here. Get out here. While the Night King that we have not chosen does not count, I do not care if he has received the old Night King's inheritance or not. In short, I do not recognize him as a human that is neither worthy nor qualified. Without our 6 tribes' permission, he is not a king of Night Valley. The elders of the 6 tribes were aggressive. 3 days ago, when they knew that humans had been chosen as king of Night Valley, they had already been boiling with rage. It was just that they did not bring the tribe's warrior with them at that time. Now, they were all prepared. This time, it was to get Long Fei off the stage. Big Sis Yimai said, 6 great elders, you do not have the qualification to interfere in the selection of the new Night King. You are elders of the 6 tribes, so you should be clear about your responsibilities. Also, all these years, it has always been the decision of the previous Night King. There was no need for anyone to agree to it, including you 6 elders. The faces of the 6 grand elders darkened. It was getting ugly. She was right, the 6 tribes did not have the qualifications to meddle in Night King's selection. An elder said solemnly, we are not qualified, but we are qualified to abolish Night King. You're right. That's right, we have the right to abolish Night King. As long as the 6 of us agree, we can abolish Night King immediately. Kid, even your father didn't dare to speak to us this way. Now that the 3 of you have taken off your veils, I am afraid that you have already had a relationship with that human. An old man's eyes were cold as he stared at the 3 Yimai sisters. An elder behind the 3 Yimai sisters took a step forward and said, 6 great elders, it's night time for them. Before going into closed-door cultivation, Duke Yi will pass everything to the 3 of them. Also, as an elder of the Night Valley, I know that humans cannot become king of Night Valley, but the things that happened that day did not happen to you guys. He did not know what happened and he had the strength, so he was qualified to become the king of Night Valley as well. In addition, the Night King and the Ghost King have a deep relationship. I suggest that we reconsider abolishing the Night King. Coercing and enticing. As he finished speaking, many of the elders and disciples of the underground palace began to chime in. Master Long Fei is definitely qualified. Without her, our underground palace would have already been occupied by humans. You're right. You're using the Ghost Cave Queen to scare me? The eyes of the elder from 6 tribes twisted as he said solemnly, this is the matter of the family of our Night Valley, he doesn't have the qualifications to meddle in this ghost hole. Whether or not he saved this place, it doesn't matter that he is human. What if he is a spy from the human race? The cold winter is approaching. Can he stand on our side and fight against the humankind? Will he? Humans have killed so many of our clansmen, we must take revenge. I heard that the people of the Su family are also here, and you even let Su Wantu's daughter go. The argument went on and on. Moreover, it was obvious that the people from the 6 tribes were determined to abolish Long Fei this time. Moreover, it might kill him. However, the 3 Yimai sisters and the clansmen of the underground palace were defending Long Fei. Finally, one of the great clan elders of the 6 tribes said solemnly, all right, since you won't let us abolish Night King, then we can only use another method. As soon as he finished speaking, everyone's expression changed slightly as well. Big Sister Yimai asked, what method do you plan to use? The great clan elder said slightly, whether it is in the human world or in our Night Valley clan, all of us use our strength to speak. If you say that he saved all of you, then his cultivation must be very powerful, and if he obtained the inheritance of the old Night King, then he cannot be matched, and today we will use his strength to determine his superiority. The representatives of the various sects, whoever wins will decide everything. But there is one thing I want to say in advance. If we win, not only will we abolish his Night King status, but we will also leave him with his life. Big Sister Yimai said, and if we don't agree? The great elder smiled faintly, it's fine if you don't agree, but if you don't agree. He looked behind him and said lightly, if you don't agree, then we can only use the 3rd method. Kill them all. Chapter 2856 Azure Dragon Triggered Tasks. Chapter 2856 Azure Dragon Triggered Tasks. There were a lot of 6 tribes and all of them gathered together. Forget about the 6 great elders, just the 6 tribes were something the 3 sisters, Yimai and Yu Yang couldn't withstand. Moreover, once they started fighting, the one that would be injured was still the Night Valley. Big Sister Yimai said, "All right, then set up the stage, the representatives of the various sects, and the victor will be the king." The Great Elder smiled and said, "The victor is the king." Big Sis Yimai said, "Give us some time to prepare." The Great Elder said, "Sure, we'll meet in the underground palace square in an hour." An hour? Big Sister Yimai was anxious to buy more time. However, before she could finish her words, the Great Elder continued, "Since you think that it's been so long, then let's just let it be for half an hour. Remember, if you don't fight, then it'll be considered your loss." Finished. Without giving the three Yimai sisters any chance to speak, they left in big strides. "Just wait and lose. Ha ha ha. Night Empress. Hee hee. It's the end. If humans are king of Night Valley, it is the shame of the Night Valley. It is all because of you three are the sinner of the Night Valley clan. Let's wait and see." The people of 6 tribes all sneered, while the 6 great clan elders looked at them with contempt. Moreover, the 3 of them were also heavily injured. Not only them, the elders of the underground palace were also injured. Their combat power could be said to be less than 1/3 of their usual level. At this time, to choose to fight in the arena, without a doubt, this was courting death. He was definitely going to lose. They had fallen into their trap. From the very beginning, they had wanted to have the 3 sisters fight in the arena. Because they were sure to win. "Sis, we are all injured, and the same goes for the elders. Who can we send to fight?" The second brother's forehead was also tight. She could not think of anyone to fight. The third brother also said, "If it's an elder, then it's an elder. If it's a guard, then it's a guard. Every one of them is injured. There's no one to send. The 2 Night Empress are right, us old fellows are both injured and disabled. Even if we go out to fight, it would only be disgrace to the Night King." Sigh. The few elders lowered their heads and sighed. Big Sister Yimai slightly said, "Elders, you don't have to blame yourselves. Even if we lose, we have to lose a bit more bravely. We'll talk about it later. This time, Night King is in seclusion. We are fighting for him, it is our first battle." She had made up her mind. She was going to fight. Everyone's eyebrows tightened. They had no chance of winning this competition. "I'm going to find Night King." All 3 turned around and walked into the depths of the underground palace. Big Sis also quickly chased after him. However, when he arrived at the place where Long Fei was undergoing closed-door cultivation, he found it to be quiet for a while, and not a single sound could be heard. "I'll go get Night King." All 3 let out an underestimate. The boss immediately pulled him back. "Night King is in closed-door cultivation," he said, not to disturb him in any way. Long Fei possessed their father's inheritance of the imperial power, so he might be cultivating this power. The most taboo thing to do in seclusion was to disturb. If one were to be disturbed at a critical moment, it would be a huge blow to the cultivators and they might not be able to break through again for the rest of their lives. "Big Sis, but it's already like this, we are not 6 tribes' match at all. You have to know, if we lose, they would want Night King's life." All 3 said anxiously. Big Sis said lightly, "Therefore, we cannot lose." Zhong Xian was taken aback. The second brother looked surprised. "Sis, you." The elder sister laughed lightly, and said, "He has saved us, saved Night Valley clan, and also given us 3 bodies to him. He is our king. Now that he is in closed-door cultivation, we should take care of everything for him, because we are his women, not useless vases, not decorations. Even if I have to sacrifice everything, I will carry the burden for him." The eyes of the second brother were filled with shock as well. Both of them nodded their heads in unison as they replied, "Yes. Sis, I know what to do now. Don't worry, I will use my life to protect him. Our king." Ding. Refining is a success. He succeeded yet again, but he still could not meet Long Fei's requirements. He was still unable to soften his battle clothes, and his strength was still lacking. "No way." Again, Long Fei frowned. Actually, all of his ghost soldiers had heard what the 3 sisters had just said. Long Fei was very moved in her heart. If a woman was willing to give her life for him, then what reason did he have not to risk his life for them? Again, Long Fei crazily unleashed his making technique to its limit, but even with Nai Xiaoqian's help, his strength was still lacking a little. He couldn't break through the third-level shackles. In other words, the armor that he had created could only be upgraded by 3 small levels. It was completely not worth looking at. Even if the Yimai sisters leveled up by 3 levels, it would still be useless. Long Fei had only trained in making technique for 3 days. To be able to achieve such an outcome was already something he had thought of, and it was also something he risked his life to achieve. What on earth is the solution? What other power can you inject? Just as Long Fei was unable to think of a solution, a voice came out from the space ring. Kid, this making technique of yours is rather interesting. If you're willing to help me create a set of dragon armor, I'm willing to give you some strength. Without waiting for Long Fei's reply, the system sounded out. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for triggering the hidden quest, Dragon Armor S. Mission, forge a dragon armor level, SS time, 3 years reward, 1 billion experience points, random draw twice, Sky Dragon's Flame, special reward 1. Quest failure, level reduced by 10, ding. Accept. Long Fei initially wanted to accept, but he suddenly triggered a quest, which calmed him down. This Azure Dragon Long Fei did not dare believe, because he had wanted to take his own life before, so he said softly, "It's fine to create a dragon armor for you, but at least there should be a reward, right?" Ha ha ha. No problem, as long as you create the dragon armor for me, I will definitely treat you well. I can assure you, every word that the dragon says is a promise. The green dragon said. Long Fei said, "All right, I believe you. Inject your power into the armor you gave me." In that instant, a deep dragon roar rang out. Buzz. And also at this moment, Long Fei and Nai Xiaoqian quickly began their production. The power of the Azure Dragon surged. Boom. A muffled sound rang out, and in that moment, the armor that Long Fei had created seemed to have given him life, trembling violently as the entire body of the armor glowed with the light of the dragon's scales. Extremely awesome. Ding. System notification. Refining successful. Chapter 2857 Night Valley's Number 1 Beast, Night Devil. Chapter 2857 Night Valley's Number 1 Beast, Night Devil. The square of the underground palace. Time's up. Please send someone to fight. Yimai and the other 2 sisters stepped forward at the same time. Hey. Huh. Defeat in a single round? Hey. It seems like you want to bet everything on this. Suddenly, the other 2 sisters were also slightly stunned. They had not discussed this matter with them in advance. Who cares how many rounds you have, you will definitely lose. One of the great clan elder said softly, then looked at a certain direction and said, "Night Devil, you can go." As soon as he finished speaking, boom. In the middle of 6 tribes, a man who looked like a small giant and was wearing a tattered black cloak, standing up abruptly. He was over 2 meters tall. At the same time, his joints exploded, and his aura also exploded. Swish, he roared. Boom. 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 An aura burst out, causing the entire underground palace plaza to shake slightly. Night Devil. Night Valley's number 1 warrior. The people from the 6 tribes actually found the Night Devil. Isn't he only here during the dead of winter every year? Impossible. It's not fair at all. The number 1 warrior. He was incomparably powerful and fierce, but he would usually only appear during the cold winter when fighting against the humankind. He wouldn't come out for the rest of the time. Legend. He cultivated in the deepest place of the Night Valley every year, and it was also the deepest place of the Night Valley. What kind of level did his cultivation reach? No one knew. However, the old Night King had once said that with his talent and potential, he was the number 1 demon warrior of the western regions, an existence that would surpass the Emperor in the future. Big Sister Yimai's face darkened slightly. The second brother immediately said, "This is not fair. He is not someone from the 6 tribes, and he cannot fight for you. If he does fight, then who is his opponent?" In the entire Night Valley, even the number 1 expert from back then, Old Man Huang, was not a match for the Night Devil. Compete with him? Even 10 lives weren't enough. The great clan elder laughed coldly. He is from the Night Valley clan, he can fight for the Night Valley, and since you can fight for humans, why can't he fight for the 6 tribes? In Night Valley, he hates humans the most. I promised him that as long as he wins, he would kill that useless human. Ha ha ha. Accept your fate. Come on, let's fight. 1 round is enough to decide victory or defeat. Ha ha ha. Everyone from the 6 tribes all laughed. They were sure to win this round. Bang, bang, bang. With every step the Night Devil took, the ground would slightly shake. Walking onto the stage, the demonic chi on his body could be seen twining around his body. The red eyes under the tattered cloak were like those of a ferocious beast. He is a Night Devil. It was also a monster from the Night Valley. He walked to the arena. All 3 immediately said, "Big brother Night Devil, do you still remember us? We are Yi Mai, can you give up the competition?" The great elder's eyes immediately darkened. "Night Devil, don't forget what you promised us." The Night Devil said coldly, "You can't, but I can let all of you come at me together." There was no contempt in his tone. It was very plain. Because he did not even put the 3 Yi Mai sisters in his eyes, nor did he need to care about them. His cultivation was enough to crush anyone in the underground palace. "All right," the second brother said heavily, "then it'll be the 3 of us." The elder of the 6 tribes sneered. They did not care about the 3 of them, because their cultivation was not even on the same level as the Night Devil. At this moment, "Wait, Brother Fei is not around, so we can't let our sister-in-law take the lead. I'll do it." It was unknown when Tan Dapao walked out, but what was different from a few days ago was that his right arm had changed into a huge mechanical arm. A stream of light flowed from his arm at all times. This stream of light was the true spirit of the launcher. To be able to do this required an extremely high level of mastery. Tan Dapao had become different. At least, compared to a few days ago, he had improved a lot. Human? There's another human? There are actually people from the human race hidden here? The people of 6 tribes were all in a bad mood. The Night Devil raised its eyes slightly, and its eyes flashed with even more cold red light. "And you?" She still had a cold look on her face. It was just that. After Tan Dapao came out, the aura on his body became colder, and the killing intent became thicker. Tan Dapao jumped onto the stage with 3 steps and then sneered, "What awesome words. I don't need all 3 of them to come out and fight, I alone will be enough." And then, Tan Dapao said to Big Sister in a low voice, "Brother Fei told you to come out later, he'll be back soon. He is the number 1 warrior. You are not his match." Tan Dapao rubbed the bridge of his nose, and said, "If I can't even protect my sister-in-law, then I don't have the qualifications to continue staying with Brother Fei. You guys go down first, I'll carry it myself. Stop chattering. Who cares if you attack together or one by one, in short, you lose today. Night Devil, don't talk nonsense with them." As soon as he finished speaking, the Night Devil's eyes moved slightly as she took a step forward. Tan Dapao also frowned. He rushed forward, his left hand moved, grinning. "Taste the mist bullet that I have just created." Bang, bang. The fog bomb exploded. Fog filled the skies. In an instant, the entire arena had turned into a thick fog, and it was as dark as the night. Tan Dapao laughed. "Seems like the lower planes are also useful." However, before he even finished speaking, a palm came slashing through the fog, directly sealing off all of Tan Dapao's escape routes. Mist billowed about. A series of crushing blows. Tan Dapao's eyes became tight. F***K. His right arm looked at the ground and smashed. Rumble. The ground shook. The mechanism on his arm also exploded with a catcher sound, and the mechanical arm also turned into a palm that heavily clashed against the ground. Tan Dapao said excitedly, "Look at my mechanical power." Bam! When the 2 palms collided, Tan Dapao practically did not have any reaction, and was directly blown away. The parts on his mechanical arm scattered all over the ground. F***CK. Both of Tan Dapao's eyes burned with anger. He stopped in mid-air for a moment and then rushed forward again. This time was different from the previous one. A hole appeared in the palm of his hand, and before the 2 palms could touch each other, A shockwave missile struck out. But, even so, the night devil still slashed down. Rumble. Bam. With a loud noise, the night devil retreated half a step. Its eyes were twisted, and before Tan de Pao could fly out, it grabbed its mechanical arm and threw it backwards. Bam. Its body heavily smashed into the ground, causing Tan de Pao to almost smash out feces. It was so painful that he grimaced in pain. Damn, isn't this too fucking amazing? It was also at this time. It was unknown when Long Fei had walked out. He said indifferently, "It's time to activate your battle uniform." Tan de Pao grinned, "Understood." Chapter 2858, Muddlehead. Chapter 2858, Muddlehead. The Night Devil's power was too strong. Night Valley's #1 warrior was definitely not someone he could call out. Tan de Pao was completely crushed in front of him. He didn't have the power to resist at all. But Tan de Pao did not give up. In these 3 days, he had not only evolved with his spear, but also with his cultivation. The most important thing was to save Long Fei from losing him something. A battle uniform set. As Long Fei's voice fell, Tan de Pao grinned and chuckled, "Understood." Very excited. Because mechanical armor was his favorite thing to do. His body bounced off the stage as well. The aura from the night devil trembled slightly. The dense smoke on the stage all dispersed, becoming clear. The night devil coldly looked at Tan de Pao in the corner, then looked at Long Fei in the distance. The hostility in his eyes stirred. Shua. His figure disappeared. So fast. Long Fei was secretly shocked. He could not catch the figure of the night devil at all, and also immediately disappeared. I wonder if Tan de Pao can hold on. Seeing the night devil dissipating, Tan de Pao frowned. Originally, he wanted to act cool, but he didn't dare let his guard down at all. The idea started to move. Buzz. Crack. Bang, bang, bang. A series of sounds of mechanical metal colliding could be heard. His body was wrapped in a thick suit of armor. The scene was extremely exciting, just like a robot transformation. The arms, legs, chest, and even the head was covered by the armor. His chest was incredibly heavy. A gigantic round thing that looked like a shield. Tan de Pao, who was originally just over 1.7 m tall, immediately reached 2.5 m when he put on the battle uniform. It was even taller than the Night Devil. There was a big general embroidered on the chest. "Ha ha ha. Your transformation is complete. Look at your father's mighty general." Excited voices came out from the armor, and the surrounding people were all stupefied. Even the Night Devil that was rushing over was slightly startled and stopped. What is this? What did he just release? Is it some kind of armor soul treasure? I have never seen such a soul treasure. Holy sh**, looks like he really has a cool appearance. He was shocked by the strange thing that appeared on Tan de Pao's body. Tan de Pao moved his legs a bit, laughed, and said, "This feels great, ha ha ha." He thought to himself, Brother Fei is indeed awesome, he actually made such a thing. Power, what great power. As he put on the battle uniform, it was as if the armor was connected to his body and he could immediately feel a powerful force entering his body and instantly becoming stronger. A full 4 levels. It didn't seem like it was much, but to any martial artist, a 4th-level martial artist was an extraordinary existence. It was impossible for a magic pill to instantly raise its cultivation by 4 levels, even if its lifespan was running low. His aura has changed. It has become a general level. He suddenly became stronger. What's going on? Night Devil, knock him out. No matter how strong he becomes, he's just a general level. Kill him in 1 move. The people of 6 tribes clamored. So what if he leveled up to level 4? It was still the general level. This low-level realm was not even worth mentioning in the eyes of the Night Devil. It was not even worth mentioning. The Night Devil's eyes also darkened, its eyes flashed with red light, and said coldly, "Pretentious." Whoosh. His body charged forward. His right palm moved, and a dense palm force blasted out. Explosions resounded in the air, a total of 9 explosions. Boom, boom, boom. Every time it exploded out, there would be an increase in power, and even with 9 explosions, the power of the palm would increase by 9 folds. When this power smashed into the general level, even if it was at the peak of the 9th level of the natal stage, it would still be able to instantly kill a practitioner. What a strong power. Ha ha ha. Kill him. Get rid of that damn fatty. Just by producing such a huge set of armor, you're already so awesome. Send him to the king of hell with a palm. The people of 6 tribes were boiling with excitement. 9 bursts demon palm. Tan de Pao was definitely going to die. The 3 Yimai sisters could not help but become worried. The palm strength of the night devil is extremely dense. I'm afraid that he. Long Fei smiled faintly. Don't worry, the armor on the cannon is a defensive type of armor. It won't be that easy to take his life. How could the armor made by the making technique be so easy to break through? It doesn't exist. Long Fei also knew that Tan de Pao was not a match for the night devil, but the night devil wanted to solve the problem that was impossible for Tan de Pao to do so in one move. Tan de Pao's body also sunk slightly. He did not move. He leaned forward slightly. The gun in his right arm revolved crazily. Seeing the night devil coming closer, he shouted, "Come!" Boom! With a palm strike on the general on Tan de Pao's chest, his round stomach caved in slightly, and his battle uniform made a series of creaking sounds as well. Tan de Pao's body also sank a little. Damn, what F** King's strength. If I don't have that armor on, I really will die here. Luckily I have the armor, so. The corner of Tan de Pao's mouth curled up into a smile of excitement. His eyes moved, locking onto the night devil as his right arm began to frantically spin. Just like a super engine. Red light flashed from within. It also landed heavily on the night devil's chest. Super shot punch. The corners of the night devil's eyes twitched. He did not retreat, and his body sunk to the level where Tan de Pao had to resist it. Bam! Rumble. This is all my power, Tan de Pao replied heavily. However, the night devil retreated half a step, and a few pieces of clothes on its chest were ripped apart, as blood leaked out of the corner of its mouth, and its eyes became especially gloomy. Buzz. Suddenly, the aura on his body trembled. A scarlet aura visible to the naked eye covered the entire arena. It erupted. It was completely different from before. The night devil was angry. Tan de Pao's heart tightened. Damn, this is so abnormal. All of my strength was only used up by half a step. F***ck. I am not a match for you. He turned his head to look at Long Fei. Long Fei also nodded slightly. Immediately, Tan de Pao laughed and said, I don't want to play anymore, I surrender. Without waiting for anyone to react, Tan de Pao jumped down the stage. If he did not leave now, he would really die on stage. He did not want to die yet. He's still a virgin in Universal Realm. The night devil's eyes were focused, staring straight at Tan de Pao who jumped down the stage. The killing intent in its eyes was dense. It was also at this time. Long Fei looked at the 3 Yimai sisters and said, You 3 can go now. Put on the battle uniform I gave you. The 3 sisters nodded their heads. Yes. Others may not believe it, but they would definitely believe Long Fei's words. The 3 of them were like agile cats. They instantly jumped onto the stage and at that moment, activated the battle gear Long Fei had given them. He put on the battle uniform. Their bodies were even more attractive. The entire audience was stunned. Chapter 2859 Loss. Chapter 2859 Loss. The Yimai clan had their own charisma to begin with. It was alright for males, but the words of females could be compared to that of demon foxes. The Yimai clan, on the other hand, had a figure. His figure could be said to be perfect, without a single flaw. In addition, this cat girl's battle clothes perfectly outlined their figures, making it impossible for them to move even a single glance. The people from the 6 tribes were also good. It didn't matter for the warrior S on the side of the underground palace, it was all the same. Even the night devil, who were not near women, were shocked when it saw the 3 sisters. Long Fei was also secretly excited. 3 days of hard work have not been wasted. Although it has not reached perfection, the desired result has already been achieved. Triplets. That water snake waste. This is too deadly. Being good-looking was just one of them. The effect of the cat girl's battle clothes was not as simple as it looked. What are they wearing? So beautiful. Wow. The Yimai sisters are too beautiful, they look exactly the same. The clothes they are wearing now are exactly the same too, making it hard to look at them. Gudong. Countless men were gulping down their saliva. All of them were attracted. The three sisters were also slightly taken aback. Sis, they're all looking at us. This battle uniform set is too beautiful. I like it so much. Did the Lord Night King not sleep for 3 days precisely for our battle uniform? My heart is about to melt. The three sisters' faces were filled with joy. The gift Long Fei sent over was sent to their hearts as well. Big Sis slightly shook. Let's defeat the Night Devil first. If I win the Night Devil, I will reward Lord Night King well tonight. The little sister giggled and then turned cold. She stared at the Night Devil and said, Big brother Night Devil, the three of us are here. The Night Devil looked forward and said coldly, Fight. Buzz. He did not withdraw his berserking power just because of Yi Mai and the three sisters, and he did not become even stronger. All the enemies of his life were humans. He could not let a human control the Night Valley. Besides, he had promised the 6 tribes. The great clan elder of the 6 tribes also said solemnly, Night Devil, throw them all out. Kill. You scum of Night Valley, kill the 3 of them. As long as he could win against Yi Mai and her 2 sisters, he would have won. Then they can abolish it and kill Long Fei. This resulted in the Night Valley being under the control of their 6 tribes. As the winter approached, they would use all their strength to attack the East Imperial City this year. Kill. The people of 6 tribes clamored fiercely. Tan De Pao stood by Long Fei's side and said, Brother Fei, can the sisters hold on? Long Fei looked at the Night Devil and did not say a word. He wasn't sure, but he believed in the strength of the 3 sisters. Boom, boom, boom. The 3 of them surrounded the Night Devil in the middle, so nimble, I feel like my speed has increased by more than a fold. There's still power. These clothes are too powerful. The Night Devil swept his gaze across the center and said coldly, I'm sorry. Boom. The Night Devil moved, a pitch-black long blade appeared. With a few words, the blade suddenly slashed out, causing Dao Feng's path to be covered with red light. Night Devil blade. Sliced from the hardest stone in the entire land of Extreme Abyss. The Night Devil is going all out. Ha ha ha. It doesn't matter what kind of armor you're wearing. If you put your strength there, you won't be able to surpass it. The 3 of you will definitely lose. When the elders of the 6 tribes saw the Night Devil take out her long blade, they all laughed. A single slash swept out. The 3 of them moved at the same time, dodging the attack instantly. It was easy. The corner of Long Fei's mouth hooked up as he smiled lightly. Plus 60 points in agility-based battle uniform is that easy to hack? Hee hee. You're thinking too much. As his blade swept across the air, the Night Devil's eyes slightly contracted. It was a little astonished, but it didn't stop there. Taking advantage of the opportunity, it pounced straight towards its little sister. The little sister dodged the knife, her heart was filled with ecstasy. Hey! Night Valley's number 1 warrior is only SOSO. Seeing the Night Devil pouncing towards her, she did not panic, but calmed down. With a thought, she said, Big sister, second sister, I will stall him. Both of you attack. The greatest strength of triplets lay in their spiritual connection. When the idea moved, the other 2 knew what it meant. Boss, second bro's mind stirred. Shua. The 2 daggers landed in his hands and attacked from left and right. The same went for the 2 daggers in her hands. Boom. The scarlet aura on the Night Devil trembled, and rushed forward without waiting for the little sister to get close. With a move of its long blade, it furiously slashed down. Little sister crossed her arms. Buzz. Clang. 2 daggers fell onto the ground. Its arms were numb, and the Night Devil's gaze upon them relaxed slightly. The little sister rolled on the ground, picked up the dagger on the ground and attacked the Night Devil's legs. At the same time, the other 2 sisters also attacked Night Devil. What are you doing? Deliberately letting them go? Don't you want your brother's life? Kill these 3 scum for me. The last move was obviously the move of Night Devil retracting her strength. Otherwise, her arms would have probably been chopped off. Long Fei's gaze also tensed up slightly, and his heart had just reached his throat. The Night Devil's eyes shook, the two of them attacked from left and right, the dense chi on his body immediately turned into pressure. The pressure was like a wild beast, roaring fiercely. Roar! Roar! They pounced towards the three of them. Break! The boss's voice was low as the dagger in his hand pierced through the void. At the same time, second bro and third bro were the same. The pressure on the daggers were shattered by a single character breaking technique. The three of them moved in three different directions and rushed towards the Night Devil's side. The Night Devil entered between his eyebrows. A gurgling sound burst forth from within his body. His strength exploded once more. Roar! The fierce beast roared. Boss Yimai also changed once again. The power of your battle uniform. Go. Open. Open. The three of them spoke at the same time. The power under their battle robes released peak realm. Their own strength suddenly increased by 10 levels. Bang, bang, bang. The three auras quickly formed a net and formed a huge pressure. The pressure came back and crushed the power that exploded out of the Night Devil's body. The three of them landed at the same time. On the Night Devil's neck, a cold dagger fell onto its arteries. A dagger did not pierce into his heart. The two daggers did not pierce through the tendons and veins on the heels of his feet. If it all went down, even if the Night Devil doesn't die, it will be crippled. You lost. Everything happened in a flash. Everyone was dumbfounded. Especially the three Yimai sisters who instantly leveled up by 10 levels. It was impossible for them to understand. When they came back to their senses, the Night Devil's aura had slowly disappeared and returned back to that silly Luby. They lowered their heads and said faintly, "I've lost." Chapter 2860, Green Dragon Battlesuits. Chapter 2860, Green Dragon Battlesuits. He had never lost. The #1 warrior of the Night Valley had never heard the word lost from his mouth before. However, just now, he admitted defeat. The entire hall was silent. The three sisters also jumped in joy. "Yeah, we won, he. Night King, we've won." He was as happy as three children. Long Fei's heart was finally relieved, and he exhaled lightly. So close. Actually, if the Night Devil did not give up that move, the three sisters might not necessarily be a match for the Night Devil even if their cultivation were to suddenly explode by 10 levels. The battle between the three sisters was like an array formation. The final move. It was truly breathtaking. The strength of the three people suddenly increased, and combined with their own advantages, the unique telepathic connection and pressure of the triplets immediately locked onto the power of the. And because of this, he took the opportunity to capture the Night Devil. Their cooperation, their telepathic senses, as well as their perfect coordination, Long Fei was secretly excited in his heart. A natural-born killer, a perfect killer. If they walk this path in the future and cultivate well, they will become the #1 killer of Universal Realm. Yimai moved like a ghost. He moved like a shadow. The three of them looked exactly the same, which made everyone dazzled. And with the battle uniform. The more Long Fei thought about it, the more excited he became. In the future, I will train your sister into an assassination department. We won. We won. The Night Valley Clan S of the Underground Palace became excited. They all broke out in a cold sweat for the three Yimai sisters, and laughed as they saw the big Night Devil admit defeat. 6 Great Elders, we admit defeat. If we win, what other reason do you have to abolish Night King? Ha ha ha. Night King is awesome. Night Empress is mighty. They all knew that Yimai was the one who gave the battle gear to the three Yimai sisters. The reason why they had become so strong was because of Long Fei. In their hearts, Long Fei had risen to a higher level. The three sisters were also jumping up and down as they ran down from the arena with incomparable joy. With smiles on their faces, they said, "We won. This battle uniform set is too amazing. I have never seen such a powerful soul treasure. Night King is mighty." At this moment, suddenly, the 6 tribes was in an uproar. One of the great clan elder suddenly made a move, Wang. The power of the senior realm erupted. He instantly landed on the arena and twisted his eyes. Useless trash. Zhongxian moved his palm. The palm imprinted a thick black flame chi directly onto the Night Devil's chest. The Night Devil was caught off guard. His body caved in and he was sent flying. He landed heavily more than 10 meters away, his face pale, his internal organs rolling, as he spat out a mouthful of blood. The sudden change caused everyone to be slightly startled. After sending the Night Devil flying with a single move, the elder did not lift his hand. Instead, his body moved, and once again landed in front of the Night Devil. A useless thing like you should die. His 5 fingers grabbed at the top of the Night Devil's head. As long as his 5 fingers touched the ground, a hole would be made in the top of his head. He would die without a doubt. Moreover, facing the Great Clan Elder's attack, the Night Devil did not resist, because it still had a little brother in the hands of the 6 tribes, who was his only family. If he resisted, his little brother would definitely die. The Night Devil raised its eyes slightly and said, "Great Elder, I beg you, please let my little brother go." He closed his eyes. "Go to hell!" The Grand Elder roared in anger. Yi Mai and the other 2 sisters shouted loudly, "Stop! Big Brother Night Devil!" They were too far away, so they couldn't stop him in time. Furthermore, this Great Elder was from the senior realm, so even if they rushed over, they would not be able to stop him. "Night King! Save him!" The elder gave a loud shout, but before she could finish, Long Fei's figure had already disappeared. Roar! An explosion sounded in the air. He didn't know when, but a pair of unicorn-colored wings had appeared on Long Fei's back, and his speed would increase 5-fold in a short amount of time. A terrifying existence. He instantly appeared in front of the Night Devil. "You like killing people? Killing people here. Have you asked your father? I am the king here." Even if the Yi Mai sisters didn't say anything, Long Fei would have helped them. Because the Night Devil had shown mercy in that one move, Long Fei was grateful in his heart. Therefore, the moment the Great Clan Elder had descended, he had already made his move. The Great Clan Elder's gaze turned cold and the corners of his mouth curled up. He smiled coldly and said, "Trash human, you dare call yourself king in front of me? Who do you think you are? Since you dare to charge out, that's even better. I will cripple you on the spot." His voice sank. With a flip of his right hand, a longsword moved. A few illusions. Buzz, buzz, buzz. The entire sky was filled with the sounds of swords clashing, as one sword image after another surrounded Long Fei. The Night Devil said solemnly, "You can go, I don't need you to care." Her voice was cold. However, Long Fei did not care. Looking at the sky full of sword images, and the pressure from the surrounding senior realm, Long Fei's breathing became hurried. "Kill him. Ha ha ha. You dare to become a king of Night Valley trash? Why don't you take a piss and see what you're up to? Do you think that the trash of the general level is worthy? Go to hell. Aren't you king of Night Valley? Let our 6 tribes experience your power." "Exactly. Let us see your strength." The people of 6 tribes clamored. He was full of disdain towards Long Fei. It was not only because he was human, but also because he was trash of the general level. Brother Fei, Tan De Pao, activated his battle uniform once again and rushed towards the stage. The 3 sisters also quickly charged towards Long Fei. Long Fei's eyes darkened, and she said faintly, "Don't come over." The Great Clan Elder smirked and said, "Coming here would just be sending yourself to your death. Do you think you can obtain it? King of Night Valley? Ha ha ha. Since you are King of Night Valley, then let me experience your power. Trash. Goo." The moment he said that, the Great Elder's gaze turned sharp. The sword intent around his body was like a raging tide as he shouted, "Thousand-feather shadowless sword. Die." A mirage moved. The sword images that surrounded Long Fei suddenly shot towards Long Fei like 1,000 feathers. "Brother Fei. Lord Night King, Night King." In an instant, his life hung by a thread. Even the Night Devil behind Long Fei sneered, "He's dead for sure. No one could survive under the effect of the 1,000-feather shadowless sword." Long Fei was dead for sure. Everyone from the 6 tribes all laughed. Night King? Ha ha ha. It's going to become a dead king soon. How ridiculous. How laughable. Long Fei's eyes moved. You like laughing? Then I'll let you all have your fill of fun. As soon as his voice faded, just as the 1,000-feather shadowless sword fell, Long Fei suddenly erupted. Green dragon battlesuits, open for me. Roar. Chapter 2861. Who's not satisfied with this? Chapter 2861. Who's not satisfied with this? Roar. A roar. Dragon roar. The roar was a dragon's roar. Everyone in the underground palace was shocked. At this moment, they were completely suppressed. At this moment, time seemed to have stopped. A faint cyan light wave emerged from Long Fei's body, flickering into a layer of dragon scale-like patterns, which linked together to form a set of armor. Green Dragon Battle Suit. The power of the Green Dragon poured into it, forming an extremely powerful force. Not only that. Furthermore, there was a pair of azure dragon wings that Long Fei had purposely added. Just like those perverted clothes with wings on their private clothes, following Long Fei's explosive shout, the entire Green Dragon battlesuits was completely revealed. His appearance was exceptionally domineering. His armor was like a dragon's. The wings were like the wings of a demon. As he spread out his wings, Long Fei's body seemed to double in size. Extremely fierce. His might and domineering aura were in complete disarray. Holy *T. This is awesome. This set of armor. Wow, I've never seen anyone more handsome than this. What kind of spiritual treasure is this? Do you even have wings? Too handsome, I can't even control my heart. I'm going to fall in love with him. Whether it was the people from the underground palace or the people from the 6 tribes, they were all stunned by Long Fei. The shock caused by the Green Dragon battlesuits was too strong. A look of envy appeared on all of their faces. The Great Elder rolled his eyes. Flowery fists are useless. What this world's generals only have is strength, trash. Do you understand? Die. The Great Elder's heart sank. Seeing Long Fei's explosive state, he felt even more unhappy. With a move of the idea, the 1,000-feather shadowless sword intent became even stronger. It slashed towards Long Fei. Long Fei clenched both his fists, felt the Green Dragon battlesuits' power, and smirked as he said softly, "You're right, this world is about to end with strength, and strength as the king, so let me show you my power." Buzz. He clenched his fists tightly. Roar. Another dragon roar burst out from inside the battle robes. Long Fei's mind moved, power of true spirit frantically surging outwards, fusing into the battle clothes. At this moment, a green dragon ghosting rushed out. Roar. It was incomparably savage. It was visible to the naked eye. Everyone in the underground palace was dumbfounded. Before they could react, the green dragon swung its tail and fiercely swept it. The 1,000-feather shadowless sword intent released by the Great Elder instantly shattered into pieces, like thin pieces of glass. None of them managed to harm Long Fei. At the same time, the azure dragon flipped its body through the air. Roar. The sinister dragon stared at the great clan elder with furious eyes and opened its bloody mouth. Roar. The Great Elder's face instantly paled. His body trembled uncontrollably as all the power in his body was crushed. His body staggered backwards. No, don't come over, don't. Ah. Plop. He fell to the ground, his face as pale as a sheet of paper. His crotch was soaked through, and he was scared to the point of peeing. Don't kill me, don't. The azure dragon was crushing him. The dragon claw fiercely pressed down. The azure dragon furiously stared at the Great Elder. In other words, the Great Elder's cultivation was very high, otherwise, ordinary people would have been scared to death. That kind of pressure at close range, no one could withstand. Dragons were the most powerful creatures on the surface. The dragon's might was abnormally powerful, and its mental pressure could be said to be incomparable. The entire audience was stunned. Silence. They did not even dare to breathe loudly as they stared at the green dragon ghosting. Everyone's eyes were trembling, even though they were hundreds of meters away from the green dragon ghosting, their minds could not take it anymore. The impact was too great. Long Fei slowly walked over to the great clan elder's side and coldly asked, "Who is the trash?" The great elder immediately said, I am trash. Nothing was more important than his life. Long Fei grinned and said, "This world only consists of strength. In reality, who is stronger? You. No, it's you. It's you who's powerful," the great elder hastily said. Long Fei asked again, "Then who am I?" The great elder gulped and said, "You are the Night King of our Night Valley." Long Fei laughed coldly, his gaze sweeping across 6 tribes like a king, and said, "Is there anyone left who is unconvinced? If you don't like it, then stand up now. I will beat him until he submitted." As soon as his voice faded, there was no sound at all in the underground palace. Even more so, no one dared to step forward. Because their minds were completely overwhelmed by the green dragon ghosting. Not to mention standing up, even moving a bit was extremely difficult. Who else? Long Fei roared once again. At this moment, the green dragon ghosting roared, roar. The underground palace shook violently. Everyone from 6 tribes instantly kneeled on the ground as they shivered and said in unison, "Night King, Night King, Night King." He did not dare to make any sound. The whole of Night Valley clan was shouting Night King. At this moment, they had been completely subdued by Long Fei. If it was only because Long Fei had saved Yi Mai and the other 2 sisters at the start, then they would be completely subdued by the power that had exploded out from Long Fei's body. He didn't dare to be disrespectful in the slightest. Long Fei smiled slightly, moved the idea, and released the dragon claw. Long Fei looked at the great clan elder and said, "I am Night King, and I will bring Night Valley to its peak. I also hope for the full support of your 6 tribes. Is there a problem?" Releasing his dragon claw, the great elder immediately bowed as if he had received an amnesty. He said, "We will definitely assist Night King with everything we have." The person from the 6 tribes also said at the same time, "We will definitely try our best to assist Night King and become the king of the Western region." The king of Western regions. The king of Western regions. The Western regions was vast and boundless. If one was the king of a Western regions, then one would definitely be considered as a small hegemon of a universal realm. Long Fei walked in front of the Night Devil and extended his hand out. The Night Devil glanced at Long Fei but did not hold onto Long Fei's hand. Instead, it crawled up from the ground and coldly said, "Even though you are the Night King, I still hate humans. You saved me, I owe you my life, but I will never fight with a human." Finished. Night Devil endured the pain and walked down the stage. "Night Devil, what are you trying to do? So disrespectful to Night King, you." A few elders began to reprimand him. However, Long Fei did not say anything. Everyone has their own principles. Long Fei did not force it. But he knew he would definitely change the Night Devil. How could he let such a ferocious person go? After the stage competition ended, Long Fei quickly returned to his room. The moment he closed the door, Hualala. Hualala. The green dragon battle suits on his body all shattered. Chapter 2862, Laozi is truly ingenious. Chapter 2862, Laozi is truly ingenious. Hualala. Pieces of it shattered, falling down like dragon scales. Long Fei also collapsed to the ground, gasping for breath, as expected. "I can't hold on." The Azure Dragon's voice also came out, "Kid, your current cultivation level is too low, and you cannot hold on for too long. If it wasn't for your true spirit being thicker than ordinary warriors, you wouldn't have been able to wear this set of battle clothes." The green dragon battle suits was very sharp. Speed attribute. Strength attribute. The defensive attributes were all extremely formidable. Rank attributes could increase an existence to more than level 10. However, the most powerful thing about it was not these attributes, but the ability to summon green dragon ghosting. Under the pressure of the dragon's might, not many people under the royal realm could withstand it. But The thing that supported all of this required a strong physical body and an incomparably thick breath of true spirit. No one could see that he was doing it. If he did not hold on at that time, the Night Valley would probably be in chaos. Hoo. Level. Long Fei panted heavily. It's really AF**. King wound. Advancing to level was simply too difficult. Right now, he needed 160 million experience points to break through level 6 of the 5th level of the natal stage. This experience point was simply too terrifying. Moreover, there was no place to level up. If only those secret world scrolls were still there. Long Fei grinned and said. The leveling speed was too slow. It was at least 10 times slower than the Zhenwu continent. There was no other way. This was the universal realm, outside of the ancient world. It was the strongest plane. It was also the highest plane of a game, so naturally, its leveling speed wouldn't be that fast. Moreover, there was no hurry to level up. Long Fei was still alright. An ordinary fighter's words were incomparably slow. Hoo. Long Fei gasped for breath heavily once again as he checked the system. Oh yes, I still have the garbage collection system. As long as there are treasures, I can exchange them for experience point. Immediately, Long Fei checked the things inside the space ring. Big butcher. Damn, only 10,000 experience points. Heaven's End Steel Pikachu. Wow, this is awesome. I can exchange for 66,660,000 experience points. Zhongling pills. 18,000 experience points. Then, I can refine a little more in the future. If I refine a few tens or even 100 pills in one night, I will have over 1 million experience points. Magical Kylin blood. Hey! To be able to exchange for 8 million experience, this holy vein isn't much, right? It should be a low-level blood vein. When he saw the blood vein, Long Fei's heart immediately tightened. I almost forgot about Lan Mai. Now that we have the holy vein, the shackles on her body should be able to be released, right? We need to return to the city as soon as possible. Long Fei started to worry. After leaving the city for so long, he still didn't know what was happening to the East Imperial City. When Lian Wuchao returned to the city, he was heavily injured and Lian Kaijiang died. The strength of the Lian family was indeed not as strong as before, but it was more than enough to deal with the 3-class families. Furthermore, Fu Shishan had not provided her with Zhongling pills for so long, he didn't know if her merchant union would be able to hold on. Thinking of all these, Long Fei wanted to return to the city even more. Also, there was one more important thing. His flying sword. The Night Valley was very far away from the East Imperial City, so Long Fei's reaction towards the flying sword was also very thin. It was a deadly weapon, and Long Fei could not give up no matter what. I need to get back as soon as possible. Long Fei looked at the large pile of God's stainless steel fragments on the ground and felt nervous. Before I go back, I need to prepare 2 more sets of green dragon battlesuits. The more you rely on, the better. Ani Road, Ake, Nai Xiaoqian, and the Pikachu were all too unstable. They were strong, but they had a cooldown. Once it was used, one would be unable to summon it for a short period of time. One had to increase their own strength in order to do so. And then again. On this trip out of the city, he had offended almost all of the families in East Imperial City. Furthermore, he had become a king of Night Valley, and was also related to the Queen of Blood Moon, so he was now the representative of the demons. If you can become stronger, then you can become a bit stronger. When Long Fei wanted to return to the secret room to make a few sets of battle gear, he opened the door and the 3 sisters stood guard at the entrance. Lord Night King. The 3 sisters were still wearing the Catgirl's battle clothes that Long Fei had given them. It was very tempting. It was incomparably tempting. Long Fei was slightly taken aback, then said, "What are you 2 guarding here for?" The 3 girls stammered, not saying anything. However, their faces were red with embarrassment. "Hey," Long Fei said indifferently, "you want it again?" The faces of the 3 women turned even redder, and they did not make a sound. Finally, the little sister gathered up her courage and said, "Elder sister said that the battle uniform you gave us made us look even more beautiful and attractive. She said that it would satisfy you better this way. The eldest young mistress glared at her angrily. The little sister giggled and said, "That's what you said." Long Fei evilly smiled and said, "Big is small. Consideration will always be a bit more mature than small. Then come on in. When a woman makes a request, a man can't say no. Men couldn't do it." "Wang, you're too tired. Tonight, the three of us will be up there." Sexual bliss was so sudden. Just like that, he spent the entire night in intense and stimulating sports. Late at night, the three girls lay down, sleeping soundly and tiredly. Originally, Long Fei was close to collapse and his body was extremely tired, however, after the stimulation, he had become exceptionally strong. His mental state had returned to its peak, and he was not exhausted at all. Very strange. Every time, can it be that he really has extraordinary talent? Or is it that my physique is different? Men are usually a bit tired after exercising, but I'm not tired at all, and I'm even more excited. It's not a problem even if I had a few hundred more rounds. Am I really that fierce? Long Fei became evil. Thinking about the blood-colored dragon scale that appeared on his own body, Long Fei couldn't help but ask himself, could it be that I'm really from the dragon race? Not really. The most powerful creatures on the surface, only the dragon race could do such a thing. Forget it. I'm too lazy to think about it. Refine the armor first. The green dragon battlesuits was not that easy to refine, and even with Long Fei's 3 days of experience with the making technique, he was unable to refine it with 100% success rate. Success rate in making super armors was less than 5%. The success rate was extremely low. However, what Long Fei had relied on along the way was not talent, nor was it luck, but perseverance. 3 days later, Long Fei refined 2 sets of green dragon battle suits which were imbued with the power of the Azure Dragon. In addition, he refined 2 sets of phoenix cloth battle armor and a cute elf battle armor. Chapter 2863 Dragon Gathering. Chapter 2863 Dragon Gathering. Night King, are you really going? Can I not leave? We can't leave you. Night King, you stay. The East Imperial City is in even greater danger this year than in previous years. Furthermore, not only will our 4 forbidden grounds attack humans this year, there will also be even stronger prehistoric monsters appearing in the depths of western regions. This year's East Imperial City will definitely not be able to defend. The 3 women tried to urge him to stay. They couldn't leave Long Fei now. Not only was it managed by the Night Valley, their cultivation was also inseparable. For the past 3 days, they had been following Long Fei's special requirements to cultivate, and under Long Fei's guidance, they found their own path. Path of darkness. The trio's teamwork, tacit understanding, and the state of mind that they had in common had become even more perfect after a few days of cultivation. Long Fei was shocked by them every day. He believed that Yi Mai and her 2 sisters would definitely reach the peak of the world of assassins. They were all super geniuses. Night Valley was also better at making Long Fei's few requests, such as the establishment of the outpost. Tunnel derivation. Then there was the training method. Even though it had only been a few days, the Night Valley's strength had already changed greatly. They believed that they would definitely become the 4 great forbidden areas' most powerful powerhouse in the future. Long Fei smiled faintly and said, "Don't worry, I will be back. I left because I had something to do. You are my Night Empress, how could I abandon you? I'll come back before the winter." He was also reluctant to part with it. There was wine and wine here, women and women. He was the king of this place. He could do whatever he wanted here. However, there were things he had to do. After the incident with the violet gold armor what did the current East Imperial City become? He did not know. How was Lan Mai? She was the descendant of Holy General of the Black and White. Moreover, she had a task to complete. Her lifespan was less than half a year. Oh, then you must come back. Also, remember to miss us. Long Fei looked at them and smiled slightly, nodded, and said, "I think about you all the time. Elders, you must properly assist Night Empress during my absence. All the elders answered in unison, "As you wish." "Right." Long Fei took out a porcelain bottle from his chest pocket and said, "I heard about little brother Night Devil's illness. There are a few pills here that should be able to help him." These few days, Long Fei specifically asked around for Night Devil's. The last time he was used by the 6 tribes was also because of his little brother's control. Big Sis took it and nodded. "I got it. All right. I'm leaving." Long Fei turned and walked out of the underground palace. Inside the bag were all the materials he needed. In his heart, he was hoping that Donghuang College would raise his level of mastery a bit before recruiting students in a month. "Brother Fei, Night Valley is still the best. The ghost hole is good as well. Do you think it would be better if we didn't go back? After all, the people from the East Imperial City already know that you are together with the demons and devils," Tan De Pao asked worriedly. Long Fei said, "We are alive to see it for ourselves, not to see it for others. Don't provoke me, otherwise, even if it's a human or a ghost, I will still die. And East Imperial City has our friends too. This year's midwinter is different from previous years. According to what the Night Valley's elders said, there might be a strong monster appearing in the depths of western regions." Tan De Pao nodded his head. "That's true. It's been more than 10 days since he left. I wonder how the East Imperial City is doing now." "Brother Fei, why don't we all enter the Donghuang College? As long as we enter the Donghuang College, those clans and powers will not dare to touch us." Tan De Pao still wanted to enter the Donghuang College. Because he knew that the Donghuang College had the best spear and artillery instructors in the East Imperial City. This world was completely different from his previous low-level planes. There were too many things he needed to learn. Long Fei slightly said, "We'll talk about it when the time comes. Let's return to the city first." Advancing to a noble. "What? How could this be? Isn't master of the Lian family dead? He is the most powerful powerhouse of the Lian family, and also the only one with senior realm. It's already good that the family level hasn't dropped, but why can it still level up? You don't know about this. Lian Kaijiang is indeed dead, but Lian Wuchao has consecutively broken through into the Saint realm in the short span of 7 days. He did not do that because he still has a super spirit treasure in his hands, and it is said that even the Emperor powerhouse might not be able to defend against it. That's one of them. In addition, the 5 great masters of Donghuang College recommend Lian family to go from a first-rate family to a noble family. That powerful? Seems like the Lian family reaped a huge harvest from the Violet Gold Armor's fragment incident. The winner this time. The entire East Imperial City was discussing. Nobility clan was different from ordinary families. It had absolute authority in the East Imperial City. Moreover, wealth and martial arts would become very strong. After Lian Wuchao returned to the city, he closed his doors and went out. In just a few short days of consecutive breakthroughs, the 3 instructors' recommendations made him the hottest person in the East Imperial City. Compared to the Lian family, the Lan clan was not that lucky. In this incident, a majority of the family's forces were not affected, and the 3rd-level Lan clan S who did not enter this incident, inexplicably dropped from the 3-class families' list. Although he had the support of the business alliance of Fu family, he was still unable to hold on. The whole story was not known. Business alliance of Fu family was the same, unknowingly being suppressed by a powerful force. As for who? What kind of power was it? Until now, Fu Shishan still could not find anything, which was even more strange. However, Fu Shishan was not worried about business alliance of Fu family but Long Fei. She knew about what happened in the Night Valley as well. It would be best if Long Fei didn't return to the city at this time, because, right now, the East Imperial City was brewing up for the dragon-slaying assembly. As long as Long Fei dares to come back, all the families would kill him as soon as they could. Because he is the scum of East Imperial City, the traitor, elder swordsman. Long Fei returned to the East Imperial City through the secret passage. The elder swordsman shot a glance at Long Fei, and immediately began smoking. Long Fei was still wary of the elder swordsman. Elder swordsman was the same. Tan De Pao grinned, strange old man. Long Fei said, "Don't be rude." When he finished speaking and about to leave the courtyard, Elder Swordsman stopped smoking and suddenly said, "Something has happened to Lan Clan. However, it's best if you don't go. Even if you do, you'll just be sending yourself to your death." Finished. Elder Swordsman entered the house with his back hunched. Long Fei's gaze tensed up. Tan De Pao immediately asked, "What do we do?" Long Fei did not say a word, and anxiously rushed towards Lan Clan. The instant Long Fei appeared on the street, one of the old men smiled, "Brat, you're finally back, dragon gathering can begin." Chapter 2864, Fighting with One's Life. Chapter 2864, Fighting with One's Life. When something happened to the Lan Clan but the Elder Swordsman did not move from his position in the courtyard, it meant that Lan Mai was possibly no longer the clan leader of the Lan Clan. Otherwise, Elder Swordsman's promise to Lan Clan was to protect the patriarch of Lan Clan. This made Long Fei even more worried. Long Fei looked at Tan De Pao. "Cannons." The canon immediately nodded, understood. He immediately ran to the other side. Long Fei knew what he wanted to do without saying anything. In this period of time, Tan De Pao had been bitterly cultivating. According to his understanding of the launcher from his previous life, Long Fei had taught him a little. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. It was as if he was flying. Lan Clan. The Yang Laroa sword slid across the ground and landed on the shoulder of a disciple. He sneered and stared at Lan Mai. "Speak, what is the Zhongling Pill's formula?" In the courtyard of Lan Clan, the Lan Clan's disciples and elders were all pressed to the ground by the dozens of experts. None of them could move. Lan Clan can't even be considered a three-class families now. There were no longer any outsiders in Lan Clan other than the disciples of the Lan Clan's main clan, the Bloodvein S. All the servants, Maid S had fled Lan Clan. Without his family status, the Lan Clan would be in a very difficult situation. The current Yangs could be said to be able to easily crush him. The corner of Lan Mai's mouth was red and swollen, with blood flowing out. It was very obvious that he had just been beaten up by someone not long ago, and he said coldly, "I don't know." "What a tough mouth." Yang Laroa smiled faintly, the sword in his hand moved slightly. Shua. A head flew into the air. Blood gushed out so violently that the Lan Clan disciple could not even let out a scream. The eyes of the people of Lan Clan tensed up. Lan Mai's eyes also started to tremble slightly. The Yang Laroa sneered, "Are you angry?" "Ha ha ha. As long as you tell me the recipe of the Zhongling pills, I can guarantee that all of you will survive, otherwise none of you will leave this place today." Lan Mai's eyes flickered slightly. The Yang Laroa continued to laugh, "Don't even think about having people come to save you. Even the business alliance of Fu families Fu Shishan can't take care of herself. Hand over the Zhongling pills' formula obediently." The Zhongling pills caused quite a sensation in the East Imperial City. Moreover, during this period of time, the Zhongling pills had been closed and the price had risen steadily. If that family could control the Zhongling pills, then they could definitely control the medicine market. Other than that, there was also someone behind the Yang Laroa. Otherwise, even if he got the Zhongling pills formula, he wouldn't dare to refine it. Lan Mai replied solemnly, "I said, I don't know." Such tenacity. "Then let's see how long you can last." Yang Laroa sneered, then suddenly moved his body, landing in front of a 5 to 6-year-old child. The little girl started crying loudly, and the couple also knelt down and kowtowed. "Let my child go, I beg you, please let my child go, I beg you." Yang Laroa did not even bother about him, as he stared coldly at Lan Mai and asked, "Do you want to say it or not?" Buzz. The long sword moved, directly blocking the neck of the little girl. "No. No. Mother, father, woo-oo. Mother." The little girl was so scared that her face turned pale and her voice trembled. The little girl's parents struggled with all they had, but were pressed down to the ground by the two experts. "Lan Mai, I beg of you, please tell him, I beg of you, please save my child. In the past, we were in the wrong. We shouldn't have blamed you, nor should we have allowed you to abdicate. I beg you, please save my child." The Zhongling pills' formula? Other than Lan Mai, No one in the entire Lan clan knew about it. Of course. Even Lan Mai herself didn't know, she only knew that the Zhengling pills was made by Long Fei. The heads of the dozens of Lan clan disciples in the courtyard were decapitated. Their heads were chopped off, and their Lan clan s were pressed down on the ground, unable to move. She wanted to save him. However, what could she do to save him? Nothing could be saved. Yang Laroa looked at Lan Mai, but did not speak, and let out a heavy shout once more. Speak. What exactly is the formula? The sword moved, and the skin on the little girl's neck was cut open. Blood trickled down the sword, and the little girl fainted from fright. Her parents were crying so hard that their throats turned hoarse. They struggled frantically with all four limbs, but they were stomped on the ground by two experts. No matter how they struggled, they couldn't break free. The experts around sneered viciously. Yang Laroa stared at Lan Mai fiercely, and laughed sinisterly. No one can save you, business alliance of Fu family cannot save you, and that kid surnamed Long will probably never be able to enter East Imperial City in his life, so there is no one that can save you. You want to rely on Zhengling pills to rise up again? Temph, Lan Mai, you think too much. Your Lan clan is definitely going to be stepped on by my Yangs. Under my feet forever. Lan Mai, the only thing you can do now is to hand over the formula. I will give your Lan clan a quick death. Hand it over. Ha ha ha. The Yang Laroa laughed sinisterly. Lan Mai, if you know of this, leave it to him. We were wrong. We shouldn't have done that to you. If you know the formula, then hand it over. Lan Mai, you can give it up for Lan clan. Yeah. Don't you understand? If we hand it over, we will still die. If we don't hand it over, we will die. You want to die, don't drag us along. Lan Mai, you can do it. Give them the formula. The people of Lan clan also began begging. None of them had the aura that they did a few days ago to remove Lan Mai from their position as patriarch. Lan Mai looked at the people of Lan clan, then looked at Yang Laroa, and said solemnly, "All right, I'll tell you." Yang Laroa's eyes flashed with a trace of light and he became excited. Lan Mai said, "Let go of the child first, come here." Yang Laroa threw the child to the ground a few meters away and smashed it hard. The little girl who had originally fainted from shock immediately woke up from the pain, and started twitching and crying on the ground. Yang Laroa didn't even look at him and said excitedly with a sneer, "Let's do it here." Lan Mai said, "Could it be that you want everyone to know the formula?" Yang Laroa's gaze darkened, his heart tensing up. A formula was not a small matter. If everyone knew the formula, then the formula would not be worth much. "All right. You'd better not play any tricks on me, or else you'll die miserably." Yang Laroa strode forward. "I believe you won't be able to pull off anything from a trash that can't cultivate." The Yang Laroa walked closer as he whispered into his ear, "Speak, what is the recipe?" Lan Mai took another step forward, his mouth moved slightly. "The recipe is, let's die together." Suddenly, Lan Mai's eyes became extremely blue, and her entire body began to emit blue-colored flames. Chapter 2865, One Strike Break. Chapter 2865, One Strike Break. Suddenly. It was incomparably fast. Yang Laroa was shocked. Looking at the blue-colored flames released from Lan Mai's body, his heart sank as he said in a heavy tone, "You're courting death." Roar. The constellation roared. Yang Laroa gently leaped, wanting to jump away. However, the blue-colored flame looked like a long hair. Before Yang Laroa could jump up, it pulled him down from the air. More and more blue flames appeared. Lan Mai's hair exploded like a demon's. It looked extremely terrifying. The surrounding people were also dumbfounded. It was the same for the people from the Lan clan. They had never seen such a scene before. This. Could it be Lan Mai's dredge the channels? That's not right. The aura of the power in this blue-colored gas is completely wrong. She wants to use the power of the vein of blue water to self-destruct. Then, the people of Lan clan were slightly startled. In their eyes, Lan Mai had always been a weak and useless girl. A weak girl with neither ambition nor courage, yet she had now self-destructed. This kind of courage wasn't something that anyone could possess. Yang Laro's expression darkened as he looked at the more blue-colored flames around him. You think you can pull me down with you, trash? Humph. You think you're worthy? His voice sank. Yang Laro did not flee. Both of his hands formed a palm as the power of his celestial phenomenon ascended. Roar, roar. The two giant elephants roared, their dense energy striking continuously at Lan Mai's abdomen. Trash, like you still want to turn the sky upside down? With your meridians blocked, today I will shatter your pubes. Bam, bam, bam. A palm and a seal heavily struck onto Lan Mai's abdomen. Phut. Lan Mai immediately spat out a mouthful of blood, her face pale white, and the deep blue color in her eyes had also dissipated by quite a bit, but she did not stop. He still kept using more strength. She was very clear about the current situation in East Imperial City. All of the great clans had to work together to deal with Long Fei. Long Fei could not come back. She also didn't want to implicate Fu Shishan any longer. The business alliance of Fu family had helped her too much, and because of her relationship with the Lan clan, he had suffered all kinds of suppression. Right now, the business alliance of Fu family was in a precarious situation. His father was dead. Lan Bao, Uncle Lan, who is dead. In such a long time, she had carried him on her shoulders, but she is also tired now. She is a burden now. No matter how hard she tries, it won't do. Even with Black Prison God Grass, he was still unable to break through the meridians. She was destined never to be able to cultivate in her entire life. Since that was the case, he might as well leave this world and end this once and for all. However, her meridians were clogged up, and even self-destructing would be an incredibly difficult task. Her abdomen continued to receive heavy blows, and her strength was frantically dissipating. Lan Mai roared in his heart, "Heavens, don't tell me I can't even kill myself." Boom. The two palms of the Yang Laroa converged together and heavily smashed outward. Lan Mai's body sank and her entire person flew out immediately. The blue-colored flames around her body contracted crazily and in the end, completely disappeared. I'm really a piece of trash. Nothing. Lan Mai's heart was weeping blood. Huff. Yang Laroa exhaled, his mind relaxed. If not for Lan Mai's veins, he would really die here today. Anger raged in his heart. The corners of Yang Laroa's eyes twitched, his killing intent skyrocketing as he walked towards Lan Mai step by step. You want to self-destruct? You want to perish together with me? Humph. Don't you know yourself that you're a piece of trash? Trash with clogged tendons. You're the only one who detonated herself. I'll let you have your way. Yang Laroa was furious. He stood in front of Lan Mai, looked at the pale-faced Lan Mai on the ground, moved his right leg, and kicked heavily towards Lan Mai's head. With this step, Lan Mai's head would definitely be stepped on until it exploded. Lan Mai closed his eyes and muttered in his heart, Long Fei, I'm sorry. Long Fei had given too much to her. However, she had done nothing. The person he owed the most in his heart. Die. Yang Laroa shouted. At this moment, boom, bam, a violent whizzing sound was heard, followed by a loud sound. A figure flew out dozens of meters. In the distance, Yang Laroa's body sunk into the wall, all the bones in his body fractured, his eyeballs were on the verge of popping out, and his entire face was incomparably flushed red. Blue veins popped out. He wanted to say something, but yet, he did not say a single word out loud. He was stuck inside. It was too fast. It was so fast that it made one's hair stand on end. Everyone in the courtyard, including the Yang Laroa himself, did not know what had happened in that instant. Until there was a person standing beside Lan Mai, and it was a young man dressed in green scale armor. Long Fei. Long Fei looked at Lan Mai, who was on the ground. Looking at her injured body, his heart. At that moment, his killing intent soared to the heavens, but he forcefully held it in, revealing a faint smile. He gently said, Sorry, I came late. Lan Mai's eyes slightly opened, looking at Long Fei, who was squatting beside her. At that moment, her heart seemed to collapse, and she threw herself into Long Fei's embrace and cried. She was crying like a 3-year-old. Woo woo. Woo 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 woo. It made his heart ache. Long Fei gently hugged her, patted his back, and said softly, "I'm here, no one can bully you. Don't be afraid, don't be afraid." Lan Mai hugged Long Fei tightly and cried all the way. He didn't know why. He couldn't control it at all. It's Long Fei. Long Fei is back. The Long Fei who colluded with the Night Valley, the traitor to the East Imperial City. It's not only Night Valley. I personally saw the female Ghost King of the Ghastly Cave have a good relationship with him as well. Scum, a traitor to the human race, how dare you return to the East Imperial City? Everyone stared at Long Fei and started cursing him. Right now, Long Fei had already become the sinner of East Imperial City. Long Fei didn't care at all. He slowly stood up and swept his gaze across the people in the courtyard and looked at the over a dozen corpses of Lan clan. As soon as he finished speaking, the power on Long Fei's battle robe moved slightly, and the true spirit in his body also started to surge crazily. Roar! A roar! The green dragon ghosting rushed out from the void. No time for anyone to react. Dragon might suppression, each and every one of those Yang's disciples. Blood came out of his 7 orifices as his mind and consciousness completely shattered and died. One move, instant kill. The system beeps in Long Fei's mind continuously rang out. Ding, ding, ding. It was also at this moment that the dragon cry exploded in the sky above the East Imperial City, causing all the expert powerhouse to tremble. Dragon cry. People of the Dragon Clan? Could it be that the East Imperial City still has people from the dragon race? Long Fei is back. Chapter 2866, The Number 1 Public Enemy. Chapter 2866, The Number 1 Public Enemy. The cry of the Green Dragon and the shaking of the East Imperial City. Virtually all of the powerhouse's minds moved as they felt an inexplicable impact. Who is it? Who was the dragon's roar? City Lord's mansion. Just as he was discussing how to deal with the wintry cold in the meeting hall, a draconic roar startled him. He turned around and flew out of the hall, looking at the sky in the distance. The dragon roar reverberated in the sky for a long time. The Su family elders, the elders of the various big guilds, and the president all followed Su Wantu and rushed out. It seems to be in the south of the city. There aren't any first-rate families there. Could it be that another genius has awakened? No one from the Dragon Clan of the East Imperial City has appeared yet. That dragon roar just now was amazing. They began to discuss in hushed voices. Not even half a minute later, a Su family guard hurriedly ran over and said, "Master, it's the dragon's roar coming from above Lan Clan." Everyone was startled. The dragon's roar had only been heard for half a minute before news of the Su family arrived. The Lan Clan was at least 100 kilometers away from the City Lord's mansion. Needless to say, the Su clan's heritage was far beyond imagination. Su Wantu frowned. Lan Clan? That guard said, "It's the 3-class families. The Lan Clan who was demoted this year is the closest to Long Fei. It's that Lan Clan
Even
whose
Su
patriarch's
Wantu was
meridians
startled.
are clogged up."
After 3 seconds,
Reporting to Master,
everyone's eyes
Lan
narrowed.
Mai is no longer
Long
the
Fei.
patriarch of Lan
The
Clan.
Long Fei from
That
Night
trash
Valley.
Lan Clan.
The Long Fei
What
who
kind of
colluded
genius
with the
can
Night
the Lan
Valley
Clan
and the
produce?
Ghost Cave?
If we
He
dares
dares
even
to come
preserve
back.
the status
Dragon
of 3-class
gathering.
families,
Be prepared.
what kind of genius
Wait
can we
for his
produce?
return.
Everyone
Humph.
began to
You
mock him
dog,
in a low
since
voice.
you're back,
They
don't
were
even
even
think about
extremely
leaving this place
disdainful of
alive.
Lan Clan.
Everyone was
3-class
extremely
families
angry.
S. The
Their
entire
family's
East
rank was the
Imperial City
lowest,
knew that
but
Long Fei and
if
the
one
Night
can't
Valley
even
had a
preserve
close
this
relationship,
level,
and
how
every
can he have
person
an
in the
genius
East Imperial
awaken?
City abnormally
Furthermore,
hated
the
Long
people
Fei.
of the East
Every
Imperial
winter,
City all
the
knew
demons
that although
and
the
monsters
Lan Clan's
outside the
bloodvein
city
legacy
killed
was
many
very
people
ancient
from East
and could be
Imperial
said to be
City.
one of the oldest
It could be
families in
said
the
that
East
the forces
Imperial
outside
City,
the city
the Lan
were
Clan's
incompatible
bloodvein
like
and the
fire
Dragon
and
tribe's
water.
bloodvein were not
It was
related
a
in the
life and death
slightest.
battle.
Su Wantu
It was
said
also because
slightly,
of this
"It's
that
not
the
a
people of
genius
East
awakening,
Imperial
it's a
City
power,
hated
a
Long
very
Fei.
mature power."
The corners of
Then,
Su Wantu's
Su
eyes
Wantu
slightly
looked at the
tightened.
guard and
His
immediately
actually back.
asked,
What
"What
happened to
very
Lan Clan?
surprised.
He thought that Long Fei would not lowered his head and immediately said, "Disciple has not found
his
anything."
mind tightened.
Report.
Could it be
Another
because
guard
of that
hurriedly
flying
walked up
sword?
and said,
It was
"City
also
Lord,
at this
we just
time.
received
An
news
elder
that
of the
Long
family
Fei stood
back.
out and said,
Moreover,
City Lord,
Long
since
Fei
Long
went
Fei
to
is
the
back,
Lan clan.
I will take my
The
leave
second
first."
brother of the Yangs
Dragon
led a
gathering
group of
will
elite
definitely
disciples
carry
and
it
were
out.
instantly killed
That's
by the Lan
right.
clan.
I will also
It seems
go
like
gather
it was
the
because
clan's
of that
disciples.
dragon roar.
This way,
As soon as
a
he
traitor
finished
of the human
speaking,
race cannot leave. City Lord, for him to be able to infiltrate the East Imperial City, he must have brought the people from the Night Valley with him. Even if he doesn't have any, we can't let him leave here alive. Dragon gathering, gather. One by one, the elders quickly left. Back then in the Night Valley, Long Fei had humiliated them greatly. Now, the chance to take revenge had come. Moreover, although the flying sword was taken away by Su Wantu, they all knew that Su Wantu had not cultivated it, and there was no way that such a large purple gold flowing flame could only have one flying sword. Whoosh! At the center of the city, a rocket exploded in mid-air. Next, a huge word slaughter appeared in the sky. This was the signal for the dragon gathering to gather. All of the large and small families in East Imperial City were slightly moved. On the streets, on the grass and trees, even the citizens were getting nervous. Long Fei had become the biggest enemy of the East Imperial City. Those elders of the Su clan and the president of the association left. Su Wantu did not move. One of the elders spoke slightly, "My lord, should we step forward?" Su Wantu seemed to be deep in thought. After a long while, she faintly said, "If I'm not mistaken, that dragon cry earlier should have been released by that brat Long Fei." "Who the hell is he?" The old man said, "He is a person from the lower realms. Other than him, no one knows anything about him. We only found out that he killed a demonic pill refiner. As for everything else, we don't know. If it's the Dragon Clan's blood vein S, they shouldn't have fallen to East Imperial City's side. Although the dragon race was being crushed by the gods' tribe. However, the dragon race was still strong, and was in existence at the overlord level of Universal Realm. The descendants of the dragon race would never appear in a barren place like the East Imperial City. Huff. Su Wantu exhaled a long breath and said faintly, "The Su family will not move." Instinct told him. Long Fei was not as simple as he seemed. A muggle who had just entered Universal Realm and could kill a demonic sect's pill refiner was not simple at all. Plus, in this period of time, the Xingling pills and genius Kirin youth Lian Wenchao had been assassinated in the East Imperial City. Everything showed that Long Fei was not simple. Understood. The old man nodded slightly. He was very clear about Su Wantu's style of conduct, and his thoughts were extremely meticulous. The Su family being able to become the overlord of the East Imperial City had a decisive relationship with Su Wantu's decision. Su Wantu slightly said, "Right. Has the Son of Heaven come yet?" The old man said slightly, "He should be arriving in a few days. At that time, Su will be able to meet up with him, and they will be able to unite as one. As long as we walk this path well, no matter what happens in the future, the Su family will forever be the hegemon of East Imperial City." Su Wantu smiled faintly. Once this matter was done, he would no longer have to care about any threats in the city. Because to be connected to the gods' tribe was to stand at the peak of this world. Boom. Boom. A series of loud noises came from afar. Su Wantu slightly said, "The dragon gathering has begun. Kid, let's see if you can hold on." Chapter 2867 I'll go with you. Chapter 2867 I'll go with you. Long Fei is back. Human scum, traitor, has returned. That brat Long Fei is back. The news of Long Fei's appearance in the East Imperial City seemed to have grown wings as it flew everywhere. This time, he was famous. However, in the streets and alleys, the disciples of the various great families were fully armed and were rushing towards the Lan clan at full speed. Dragon gathering. This traitor should be hacked into pieces. You're right. We can't let him live in the East Imperial City. When people shouted for a fight, the popularity of the crowd had never been this high. Although they basically didn't recognize Long Fei and didn't even know who he was when he stood in front of them, colluding with the demons and evil spirits in the East Imperial City was as serious as treason. Long Fei is back. In business alliance of Fu family, the anxious Fu Shishan suddenly stopped, a light flashed in his eyes, and he said happily, "I'm finally back." No way. There are so many families in East Imperial City that want his life. If he comes back, he will be courting death. I have to notify him. Fu Shishan was about to leave the room. However, before she could walk out, two elders stopped her. "Miss, you can't go look for him right now. What you need to do now is to draw a clear line with him." Another old man followed up. "That's right, the reason why our business alliance of Fu family is in such a state is because of him. If not for him, we would not have been so passive and would not even know who is suppressing us. If I were to get involved with Long Fei again, I'm worried that the business alliance of Fu family might not be able to establish a foothold in the East Imperial City. Miss, the greater picture is our priority. The stronger the winter, this is the best time for us business alliance of Fu family to do business. Whether we can recover the loss and reputation will all depend on this time." The two elders tried to persuade him. The reason why business alliance of Fu family was suppressed by an extremely strong power was obviously because of the relationship between Fu Shishan and Long Fei. If he were to stand up for Long Fei this time, business alliance of Fu family might not have any place to stand on. They definitely could not have any contact with Long Fei anymore. Fu Shishan, however, did not think too much into it, and said, "Get out of my way." The two old men did not move, and said, "Miss, for business alliance of Fu family's sake, we cannot let you out." Fu Shishan's brows tightened, and said, "Who is the master here?" No matter what happened, even if the business alliance of Fu family was gone, Fu Shishan would still be the same as before. She missed the chance in God's martial continent. She definitely wouldn't miss it here. However, your grandfather had said before that the two of us must protect you. Right now, the people from the great clans of the East Imperial City are all going to the Lan clan, so even if you go, it would be useless. That brat is dead today, no one can save him. Miss, from today onwards, we can do whatever you want to punish us, but not today. The two old men were very determined. They wouldn't let Fu Shishan die. Long Fei was like a mouse crossing the street today, he could not even dodge in time. Who dared to approach him? Fu Shishan did not struggle at all. She knew that it was impossible for her to pass through with her current cultivation, but she had to find Long Fei. Definitely. Lan clan. With a single move, Long Fei killed Yang Laroa and all those elite disciples, causing the entire Lan clan to shake. However, a few minutes later, the people of Lan clan were all staring at Long Fei. Lan Mai said in a faint voice, "Quickly leave, you cannot stay here, quickly leave, East Imperial City is just a huge trap, leave quickly." He was extremely anxious. Everyone in East Imperial City knew what Long Fei had done. Everyone knew about the dragon gathering. If Long Fei appeared now, he would immediately be discovered, and before long, he would be surrounded and killed. "Long Fei, you can go. Hurry up and leave. If you don't leave now, it'll really be too late. If you don't leave, you will implicate our Lan clan. Don't tell me you still think our Lan clan is lacking. If you didn't know where the Zhongling pills came from, would our Lan clan be like this? It's all because of you, Bane. Get out of here, get out." The people from the Lan clan were furious at each other. They forgot who had saved them. Long Fei ignored him. When he did something, he didn't care what the people around him thought. He looked at Lan Mai. As long as it was someone he cared about, then Lan Mai was someone he cared about. Lan Mai looked at Long Fei's eyes, and tears rolled down her cheeks. She shook her head and said, "This time is different from last time. You have to leave quickly. If we don't leave now, it'll really be too late." It could be seen that Lan Mai was truly worried about him. Long Fei said indifferently, "Come with me." There was nothing left for a family like this to linger around. If not for Lan Mai, the Lan clan would have disappeared a long time ago. If not for Lan Mai, Long Fei would never even help Lan clan. Now that Lan Mai had been removed from his position, there was no need to stay any longer. Without waiting for Lan Mai to speak, An old man walked out. "No, Lan Mai cannot follow you. You are shameless. Our Lan clan is even more shameless. Our Lan clan would never dance with demons and monsters." Long Fei's eyes turned cold as he asked, "Who are you?" The old man's eyes narrowed. Another young disciple said in a deep voice, "Trash, how did you talk to the patriarch?" As soon as he finished speaking, Long Fei's aura moved, and instantly landed in front of that disciple. One hand grabbed hold of his throat, and coldly said, "This father's exactly this kind of temper." His 2 fingers moved. KCHA. * The Adam's apple is broken. The man couldn't even cry out for help before he fell to the ground. Long Fei coldly glanced at the patriarch of the Lan clan, walked back to Lan Mai's side, and said, "There's nothing left to linger about, follow me." He did not say much. Long Fei stretched out his hand. He was waiting for Lan Mai to hold his hand. Lan Mai longed for it. More than once he had imagined someone taking her away from this place, to a place where no one knew her, where her meridians were clogged. Seeing Long Fei's hand, she had a trace of hesitation. Because this was the Lan clan, something that her father had entrusted to her. However, she wanted to leave with Long Fei very much. "Lan Mai, you can't go with him. He is now the sinner of the East Imperial City. If you leave with him, you will also bear the consequences of your infamy. Not only you, you also have the Lan clan. You can't go with him. Are you crazy? Is there water in your head? What does a trash like you want to do? If you don't have the Lan surname, then whatever. But if your surname is Lan, then draw a clear line between you and him. If you follow him, the Lan clan will be killed by you." The Lan clan spoke out one after another. Lan Mai was very hesitant in the beginning. However, she suddenly felt relieved, and immediately pulled Long Fei's hand, and laughed lightly, "I will follow you." Chapter 2868 Beauties and Killing Intent. Chapter 2868 Beauties and Killing Intent. He held Long Fei's hand tightly. In this moment, Lan Mai felt a sense of relaxation that he had never felt before. The 10,000 kilograms on her body felt like she was throwing down a cliff. The moment she held onto Long Fei's hand, she said in her heart, "Daddy, you wish for me to do this as well, right?" Long Fei slightly smiled, held onto her slightly cold little hand and muttered, "Don't worry, in the future, with me, no one will be able to bully you." If Lan Mai did not leave with him, Long Fei might have given up on this mission. Because it wasn't worth it. Even if she was a descendant of Holy General, even if her body was eternally strong, Long Fei would still give up. "Let's go." Long Fei held Lan Mai's hand tightly and walked out of the courtyard. "You can't leave." Suddenly, a sound was heard. The patriarch of the Lan clan immediately shouted, "Long Fei, you cannot bring her away. You will harm the entire Lan clan." Long Fei's mouth curved upwards, and said coldly, "When you removed Lan Mai, you all died, and when you were stepped under Yang Lao's feet, you all died again. When you saw Lan Mai getting beaten up, all of you lowered your heads like dogs, not daring to make a sound. I would like to ask, does East Imperial City still have a Lan clan? You guys are all men. You have lived for dozens of years and yet you want a girl to take responsibility for everything. Is there a need for a family like yours to exist? If there is anyone else in the Lan clan, it would be her." Long Fei looked at Lan Mai, and then walked out of the courtyard. The faces of the people from Lan clan were all burning with anger. It was as if they were slapped in the face a few times. Long Fei's words were like needles piercing their hearts. It was extremely difficult. What did Lan clan do in this period of time? What did they do? Other than thinking of ways to make things difficult for Lan Mai, what else did they do? The current Lan clan had reached such a state. Just the thought of it sent chills down one's spine. "Who?" Lan Mai walked onto the main street and let out a long breath. Then, he said with an excited expression, "This is great." He felt as if he had been given a new lease of life, as if he had regained his freedom. However, Long Fei frowned. Killing intent. Not only was there killing intent, there were also tens of thousands of it. It was densely packed with killing intent. It was not released by a single person. This was the killing intent of thousands and tens of thousands of people. Lan Mai also noticed the abnormality and muttered, "Why is there no one on the streets? I've never been like this before. It's really strange." The street was empty. The doors of the houses on both sides were closed. A gust of cold wind blew past, giving the street an extra chilling aura. Long Fei looked around, looked at the entrance of the Lan mansion, and said slightly, "Lan Mai, did you bring along to change your clothes?" Lan Mai was startled. "No." Long Fei said, "Go back and get some clothes, I'll wait for you here." Lan Mai did not sense anything amiss. He nodded and said, "Okay, wait for me, I will come out immediately." However, without waiting for Lan Mai to enter the Lan mansion, the gate closed with a bang, and a voice came from behind. "Lan Mai has already been expelled by the Lan clan. From today onwards, Lan Mai no longer has any relationship with the Lan clan anymore." Lan Mai stared at the Lan mansion's door, clenched his fists and let go of it slightly. She once again walked back to Long Fei's side, holding back her tears. She said, "I have nothing to take with me, let's go." "Who?" Long Fei let out a light breath. Lan Mai couldn't feel it, but his mind felt as if it had been struck by lightning, and his sea of consciousness surged. The sky was overcast. A heavy rain was approaching. Long Fei looked at Lan Mai and smiled faintly. "It's fine, then I won't take it. I've prepared a set of clothes for you." While they were talking, Long Fei took out the set of phoenix cloths from the space ring. The moment she took it out, Lan Mai's eyes were attracted to it. Looking at the rainbow dress in Long Fei's hands, her eyes stared straight ahead. It's too beautiful. I've never seen such beautiful clothes. Is it for me?" Lan Mai's face was full of excitement. Only her father and Lan, who had grown up together, Uncle Lan Bao, would give her gifts, which were all kinds of spiritual pills. He had never received such gifts. Any woman loves beauty. Lan Mai was also out of this range. Looking at phoenix cloth, she felt like her heart was going to melt. Long Fei said indifferently, "Let's try it on and see if the size is suitable." Lan Mai looked at phoenix cloth. It was a piece of clothes that highlighted the figure, and also a piece of clothes that was not called revealing. Her cheeks flushed red, she lowered her head and whispered, "Isn't it better to change clothes on this street?" Long Fei's gaze congealed for a bit, and he said, "There's no one on the street anyway, and you don't need to take off your outer robes to wear this set of clothes." S forehead began to drip with sweat. His men were also sweating slightly. When he released the spirit weapon just now, everything the spirit soldier saw was reflected in Long Fei's mind. Long Fei's heart secretly sank, not because he was afraid. It was excitement. Never. This was the first time he was this excited after entering the universal realm. This chill, this killing intent, these ice-cold auras, caused Long Fei's pores to open one after another as his entire body and mind entered an abnormal state. Lan Mai nodded and said, "All right then." Just as she was about to put on her clothes and look at her clothes, Phoenix Cloth seemed to have recognized her as his master, and instantly put on her clothes. Lan Mai was slightly shocked. A few seconds later, her clothes were originally hidden, but now there was only Phoenix Cloth on her body. Her figure was like a fairy. He had long fair legs, a waist, a chest, and not much meat on his body. He also had 2 big ponytails and blue hair. An indescribable beauty. Originally, Lan Mai was only a woman ranked in the top 10 of East Imperial City. But now this set of Phoenix Cloth had allowed her to be ranked in the top 3, or even the top 10. Does it look good? Lan Mai was a little embarrassed, and her hands unnaturally covered the exposed area. Her face was flushed, and she looked even cuter. Long Fei was also dumbstruck, and could not help but exclaim, "Beautiful." If not for the current situation, Long Fei might not be able to control himself. Right now, he was completely focused on the killing intent in the surroundings. She was not in the mood to appreciate Lan Mai's beauty. Lan Mai smiled faintly, and revealed 2 dimples at the corner of his mouth as he said, "Thank you, I really like it." Then wear it now, don't take it off." Long Fei let out a faint sound, turned and looked at the surrounding surging killing intent, as though they were also attracted by Lan Mai's beauty and could not calm down. Since Lan Mai was wearing the Phoenix Cloth, then Long Fei need not be too worried. It was also at this time Long Fei said solemnly, "Come out." Chapter 2869, The City is Full of Golden Armor. Chapter 2869, The City is Full of Golden Armor. Come out. As soon as he finished, Lan Mai was slightly taken aback. Who came out? There's no one here. He was not finished. Boom. Just like a flood from a gate, a large group of people gushed out from the alley. They were all wearing golden armor with the word slaughter embroidered on the chest area of the armor. In the blink of an eye, thousands of disciples rushed out. It instantly surrounded Long Fei. Lan Mai, who was at the side, was immediately scared silly. Long Fei smirked. The lineup is really not small at all. Gold armors. This reminds me of a movie from my previous life. Lan Mai took over. What movie? Long Fei said softly. The entire city is covered in gold-ranked armor. Then, Long Fei's eyes darkened, his gaze was filled with killing intent, and said softly, "Follow closely behind me." Lan Mai looked at the people around him and nodded heavily. Amen. Long Fei, obediently surrender. You can't run anymore. Kneel down, you traitor, you are a scum. You actually got mixed up with the evil demons of the Night Valley and the Ghost Hole. Kneel. Kneel. Kneel down and accept your death. The surrounding voices exploded in the air, shaking violently. Long Fei's mouth hooked up. Isn't it dragon gathering? What? You want to take my life just because you cats and dogs? These people's cultivation base was also only general level, and was not very high. Long Fei knew. They were just the first wave. The East Imperial City's size was comparable to an empire and its population was even over a few 100 million. How big was this place? Just a few thousand people. Humph. It's enough to just kill you and me. Just a mere general level. What sort of flowers could you possibly produce? Kid, quickly kneel down and die. You think this is the Night Valley? This is the East Imperial City, not a place where you demons and evil beings roam. The corner of Long Fei's mouth twitched, and said, "What nonsense are you spouting? It's done. I wanted to have more people, but who would have thought that there would only be these few? Then die." Long Fei did not hesitate. With a twisted expression, the green dragon battle suits on his body trembled slightly. Long Fei said in a heavy voice, "Green dragon, roar." A green dragon ghosting rushed out of Long Fei's green dragon battlesuits, releasing a dragon's roar, causing everyone present to tremble. His mind seemed as if it was going to be crushed. Their faces were filled with incomparable pain. Dragon? Is it a dragon? What kind of monster is that? Oh my God. Long Fei laughed at the sky. Dragon gathering? Now that the dragon is here, come out and King slaughter for your father. Block my way. Even the gods can't do it. As soon as he finished speaking, Long Fei moved the idea, and the true spirit in his body started to surge, roar. The green dragon moved through the air and descended from the sky. Its huge tail swept across the sky and sent out a crushing pressure. Bam! 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 One by one, the Golden Warrior-s collapsed to the ground. No one could stop it. Thousands of people were killed in an instant. Blood gushed out, and the entire street was instantly dyed red. At this moment, in Long Fei's mind, ding, ding, ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Golden Warrior. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Golden Warrior. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the Octoterra Blade. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the Spirit Sword. The system beep went berserk. At the same time, he also reported that although most of the equipment were trash, these equipment were all experience points. Long Fei immediately exchanged all of them for the city experience points. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining 132,322 experience point. Long Fei looked from afar and laughed coldly, saying, "Just these few people? Not enough." And then, Long Fei did not run, nor was he anxious. He calmly pulled Lan Mai's hand, and slowly walked forward. Walking on the blood-stained street. It was like walking on a red carpet. Adding Lan Mai's beautiful phoenix cloth clothes, it really felt like he was walking on a red carpet. Lan Mai said worriedly, "Dragon gathering is an alliance of all the families in the East Imperial City. Other than the Su family, Donghuang College and a few other aristocrats, all the other families are participating." Long Fei smiled faintly and said, "There's no rush." Long Fei thought to himself, "This is the perfect time to level up. How can I let this opportunity slip by? If people don't offend me, I won't offend them. You want to touch me? Kill your entire family." In the beginning, Long Fei was still a little worried about Lan Mai, but now that she had donned the phoenix cloth, he was not worried anymore. He knew it in his heart. This time, all of the families were working together to deal with him. Not to mention experts, there were probably many powerhouse in the senior realm, so why would they want to leave safely? It was very difficult. But Long Fei did not want to miss this chance to level up. Moreover, from the very beginning, when the game system appeared in his mind, the path he walked had been a path of death with blood all over the ground. "Master, you guessed right, that dragon image was released from Long Fei's body. His cultivation did not change much, and he is still using the general level." A guard reported to Su Wantu. Su Wantu's expression changed, and she said faintly, "As expected." An old man beside him said, "Dragon Roar?" Could it be that it is a divine-level cultivation technique, but there is no such cultivation technique in the Night Valley, or is it that he had a fortuitous encounter? Su Wantu did not answer. Another old man said, "Even if he can continuously release such a powerful cultivation technique, how many times can he hold on? Don't forget that he is only at the general level of cultivation. He won't be able to last long against the combined attacks of over 100 clans of the East Imperial City. I reckon he won't make it in 3 waves at most." Su Wantu frowned. At this time, a guard hurriedly walked in and said, "My lord, the miss has been resisting the entire time. We won't be able to defend her any longer." Su Wantu's eyes darkened. How did she know Long Fei was going to return to the city? This one doesn't know. All right. I'll deal with it later. Su Wantu had a headache. At this time, they definitely could not allow Su to meet with Long Fei. If not, he would be kidnapped or even be a threat to the Su family's position in the East Imperial City. Just when he was about to leave, Su Wantu said lightly, "Old man Qin, go and shatter that purple crystal that is binding the flying sword. Just treat it as me returning another favor to him." "This, Master, that flying sword is not an ordinary magical equipment. Inside it." The elder hesitated. Su Wantu said, "Just do as I say." The old man immediately replied, "All right." In another place, Donghuang College, Dean of Donghuang College's courtyard. A figure landed. Dean of Donghuang College didn't have any reaction at all. By the time he reacted, the figure had already appeared in front of him. Dean of Donghuang College's heart sank as he immediately bowed respectfully. He didn't know who it was. But he knew that if this person wanted to kill him, he would be able to do it in one move. He was from the royal realm, and in a second, how strong was he? The figure moved slightly and took out a token from within his black robe. On the token, there was an extremely ancient word, Mu, carved into it. Dean of Donghuang College's pupils suddenly contracted. If it was only a moment ago, then now that his mind was filled with fear, he immediately asked, "May I know what sir has requested?" The silhouette said lightly, "Help me find a person." Dean of Donghuang College asked, "Who?" The figure said indifferently, "His name is Long Fei, and he entered the universal realm not long ago." Chapter 2870, Death-Free Order. Chapter 2870, Death-Free Order. There were extremely few surnames of Mu, and it was even rarer in the universal realm. But the clan plate in front of Dean of Donghuang College had the word Mu carved into it. Whether it was an imprint, the material it was made of, or the word on it, all of it was filled with impactful power. It was incomparably ancient. When Dean of Donghuang College saw this, he was greatly shocked. In that instant, he immediately thought of ancient family, Mu clan. His heart shook. Everything made sense. His surname is Long and his name is Long Fei. If you have any news about him, you can stay in the Xiao Yarrow city and obtain treasures that you cannot imagine. As soon as he finished speaking, The silhouette turned into a few black lines and disappeared in an instant. Dean of Donghuang College was too fast, to the point where he couldn't react in time. Emperor Strongman? That's not right. An existence that definitely surpasses the Emperor realm. Could he be the legendary heavenly saint? Dean of Donghuang College held his breath, his eyes filled with shock, unable to make a sound. After a long time, Dean of Donghuang College let out a long breath. Who is he looking for? Surnamed Long? Name, Dragon what? Dean of Donghuang College was too nervous. This was the first time he had seen someone with such a high cultivation level. Furthermore, he had taken out a badge unique to the Mu clan, which shocked him beyond belief. There was no reaction in his mind at all. Moreover, subconsciously, Dean of Donghuang College thought that there was no one that Mu clan was looking for, because Mu clan was an ancient clan. The person they were looking for must be extremely precious and couldn't be in a place like East Imperial City. It was also because of this that he didn't react in time. They muttered a few words. Dean of Donghuang College's eyes suddenly darkened. Dragon, Long Fei? It's him. It's that fellow. The voice trembled slightly. Then, Dean of Donghuang College immediately shouted, "Men!" An elder immediately walked in from outside the courtyard and bowed. "Lord." Dean of Donghuang College asked, "What's the situation now?" The elder did not know what he was asking and asked, "May I know what sire is asking about?" Dean of Donghuang College replied, "Dragon gathering." The old man said, "Over 100 clans are participating. That kid probably won't be able to escape death tonight." Dean of Donghuang College's pupils suddenly contracted. Without thinking too much, he directly took out this principal medallion. There were many kinds of orders. There was a summoning order. There was an order to become the principal. However, the order badge in the Dean of Donghuang College's hands was actually an extremely rare envoy token. The old man said, "Elder, what are you going to do with the envoy token?" "Do we need to gather the envoys of the Donghuang College?" The Dean of Donghuang College took out his order badge and with a move, the idea injected his own spirit into the order badge. His voice became heavy. "Pass my order to every family of East Imperial City, get them to withdraw their troop." The envoy's order was like a sound transmission order. As long as the Dean of Donghuang College gave the order, someone would immediately carry it out. Just as he finished, from the depths of Donghuang College, dozens of rays of light shone. They immediately spread out throughout the various parts of the East Imperial City. However, after using the emissary token, the Dean of Donghuang College felt that something was amiss. With a flip of his hand, he took out another token. The emissary's orders were rarely used. Then, in the entire Donghuang College, there was only one signboard. The old man's eyes darkened. "Master, no, death-free order." Dean of Donghuang College passed it to the old man, and said, "Quickly rush to the scene. Remember, give this order badge to Long Fei, and no matter what, you have to protect that brat for me." The old man was shocked. "Death-free order, this is the highest order badge in East Imperial City, even Su Wantu does not dare to touch it." Death-free orders were not just tokens. It was a formation. It could be said that formations with heaven-defying defenses were known as techniques to avoid death. There was only one such pellet in East Imperial City. It was incomparably precious. Dean of Donghuang College said, "I know, so hurry up and do it. It's not good for me to show my face in this matter. Furthermore, there's an emissary order and a death-free order. I should be able to protect him. After all, he was the principal of the Donghuang College. There were some things that were inconvenient for him to do." The old man nodded. "I'll do it right away." Donghuang College said, "Go." His heart tensed up. "I hope I can make it in time. Kid, don't let anything happen to you. If you disappear in East Imperial City, I'm afraid." He couldn't imagine it. Because he clearly understands the methods of the Mu clan, and he doesn't give you any chance to explain. If this person was important to them, they would not hesitate to destroy the heavens and the earth. This was the ancient clan. Donghuang College didn't want to go to Xiao Yaro City to get some Mu clan's rewards, he just wanted to protect East Imperial City. From the beginning of the prison in East Imperial City to now, it was really not easy. If it was destroyed, how many people would die? Hualala. 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 Hu. Long Fei's body sank down heavily. The azure dragon battle armor on his entire body quickly turned into fragments and slid down his body. Hoo 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 hoo. Hoo 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 hoo. Long Fei panted heavily. The green dragon battlesuits was indeed powerful, but he had a fatal point, and it did not last long enough. It should be very short. He had already used one set, he still had one set of space ring left. Use it again. Once Long Fei stepped in, the streets and alleys were filled with golden guards. Even an Iron Man would not be able to withstand so many attacks if they rushed in one after another. F***CK. Again. Long Fei hardened his heart. Don't worry about that. It was also at this time. That kid's armor fell off. That green dragon was released from within this set of armor. The power contained within this armor should be the power of the god's tribe. Don't miss it. Now, attack. Kill them all. One of the spirit intermediate realm experts waved his arm, took out his long blade, with a heavy leap, he chopped at Long Fei. Long Fei's pupils tightened. He was weak now. Green Dragon battlesuits' consumption was extremely huge. No matter if it was his body or his true soul, they were both in a completely powerless state. Even if he wanted to use the second set of Green Dragon battlesuits, he would need a little bit of time. The blade in front of him slashed down. Long Fei's life would probably be lost. However, Long Fei didn't panic in the slightest. He looked calm. Lan Mai's eyes were startled, and she anxiously warned, "Be careful." The corner of Long Fei's mouth hooked up as he said indifferently, "Don't worry. Ha ha ha. Long Fei, die. Your life is mine now. Ha ha ha." A crack appeared in the blade. It was aimed at the top of Long Fei's head, but in that instant, bam! A gunshot rang out. The spirit rank cultivator's temple was blown off and half his head was gone. His entire body fell from the sky and died. Sniper. Gun sniper. Chapter 2871, Courting Death. Chapter 2871, Courting Death. No one knew what was going on. The scene was too noisy, and more importantly, no one knew that the launcher could still be used like this. Launcher attacked from afar. But it was still within his field of vision, because the moment he was too far away, it would affect his power. The shot did not attract much attention. The surrounding people did not stop and continued to charge forward. Long Fei was still calmly waiting for his body to recover a little. Lan Mai looked around with a panicked expression. Seeing the people who kept on charging towards her, she blocked in front of Long Fei and asked, "What should we do?" Long Fei slightly smiled and said, "Don't worry, I've said it before, no one can stop my footstep." Lan Mai said anxiously, but, at a glance, they were all people. Furthermore, these people were all here to kill Long Fei. The most important thing was that these were all the disciples of the lowest level of the family. Let alone general level, even senior realm would not be able to withstand this tide of attacks. Unable to block it, Lan Mai was incomparably anxious. Long Fei was not worried. "Ah!" Lan Mai exclaimed. His voice hadn't died down yet. Bang! 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 Several gunshots rang out and several more people fell to the ground. In the same position, his temples exploded. Another group of people rushed forward. Bang! 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 A few more people fell. Several waves of players were instantly killed by the ranged classes. A warrior said, "Launcher, there is a launcher." "That's impossible. There's basically no one else around. It's impossible for launcher to have such a long range." "That's right. It can't be launcher. Could it be that this kid has an expert helping him?" Everyone was slightly startled, but at this point, they all stopped. They were all shocked. In the distance, on a tall tower, Tan Depao had a vulgar and excited smile on his face. Brother Fei is indeed awesome. It was only a slight change on the spear. Its range has changed, and even its strength has become stronger. The feeling of a headshot is just too great. Ha ha ha. He was smiling like a 300 kilograms fatty. Long Fei also said to himself, impressive, to be able to learn how to use sniping techniques in just a few short days. The accuracy is indeed extraordinary. This is the launcher. He can fight in close combat, he can snipe. Heh. If I had such a sniper team. The assassination department already had it. The assassination of the Yimai three sisters could already be said to be very strong. Even if it was the senior realm, if it was not guarded against it, it would still be assassinated by them. They were assassins. If he could build a sniper team. Long Fei became excited, interesting. Regardless of whether it's cultivation strength, cold weapons, or hot weapons, I must obtain them. Thought. Black and White had once said that the gods' tribe was too strong. A person who had ruled over the universal realm for billions of years, how powerful was he? It was definitely not enough to shake this huge tree. Long Fei needed a strong army. In half a minute, Long Fei had the thought of a sniper team in his mind. In a room. A few elders stood by the window looking into the distance. An old man said slightly, "This launcher is quite interesting. Even at such a long distance, he still has such a great killing power. So what if it's powerful? This is just a launcher." That's right. Launcher is still a launcher after all. No matter how strong he is, it's useless. It was also at this time. A black armored guard entered the house and said lightly, "Elder, the location of launcher has been found." A cold sneer appeared on the faces of the crowd. That piece of trash, Long Fei, doesn't have a launcher. Let's see how long he can continue. Elder Chen, are you going there? No problem. Just a mere launcher. I can send him to the heavens in one move. Ha ha ha. As soon as he finished, an old man from the god's elephant state flashed out. The launcher was most afraid of close combat. A close combat spear was hard to use, but it was locked onto because this was the launcher's weakness. It was like a mage, who could only be oppressed if they were used in close combat by a powerful warrior. Bang, 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 bang. One shot, one headshot. It was a pleasure. Like a beautiful waltz. Tan De Pao was completely excited. However, Long Fei frowned. Crap. Lan Mai was startled, seeing that no one dared to come close, and completely oppressed by the launcher. He said, "What's so bad about it? Look at these people, none of them dare to approach us." Long Fei looked at the tower in the distance. "Why didn't you listen to me?" It was not that Tan De Pao did not listen to him, it was just that he felt that it was unnecessary. There was another reason, which was because he was afraid that when he moved his position, those people would attack Long Fei. Thus, it was always overwhelming. Furthermore, he had never killed anyone this way before. How could he leave so easily? Suddenly, the gunshots stopped. Long Fei became anxious. It's here. However, Long Fei was not too worried as he also had a set of armor on him. As long as he was not a powerful expert, he would be able to deal with him. The gunshot is gone. Seems like Elder Chen has taken care of the launcher. Pass down the order, attack, attack. As soon as he finished speaking, the Golden Warrior S on both sides of the street rushed forward with big strides. Lan Mai looked into the distance and said, "Hurry, shoot, quick." No. There was no more gunfire. Long Fei looked at his own stats and muttered, "Just a bit more." He was still unable to initiate the Green Dragon battlesuits' transformation. His body still needed a little more time for his true soul to form. Long Fei also swallowed all kinds of pills. Lan Mai glanced at Long Fei. And then, she took a step forward and extended her hands, protecting Long Fei behind her. "Humph. Little girl, you're so beautiful. I really can't bear to do such a thing. Why don't we snatch her away first and let our brothers enjoy themselves?" Ha ha ha. I think so. She is the only blue-haired woman in the entire city, and with this pair of blue clothes, she can be said to have surpassed the East Imperial City's #1 beauty. Gudong. Don't say so much, your father's crotch can no longer endure the thirst. Whoever gets it first gets it first. Ha ha ha. The eyes of the brawny men lit up, their Adam's apple rolling like hungry wolves as they rushed over. "Little beauty, you're mine, Ha ha ha. A person rushed forward. Lan Mai closed his eyes. She did not have any cultivation, nor did she have any combat ability. However, she knew that she could use her body to protect Long Fei for a period of time. Long Fei was not worried. This was because the armor on Lan Mai's body was the one that had been infused with the defensive power of the Azure Dragon. Moreover, with the powerful Azure Dragon antiphasic force, if he didn't attack, that would be better. But if he attacked, that would be a suicide. Long Fei smirked, looked at the filthy man, and coldly said, "You're courting death." Chapter 2872 Laozi is waiting for you to come out. Chapter 2872 Laozi is waiting for you to come out. Before he finished speaking, the instant that filthy man pounced over. Boom. A light aura exploded from phoenix cloth. The brawny man was knocked into the air. Ah! The bones all over his body cracked, let out a pig-slaughtering howl, and heavily fell to the ground. There was no more life. Everyone was stunned. Seeing the corpses that were smashed into mincemeat, one by one, they looked towards Lan Mai, but could not find anything. Lan Mai was still that blue-colored demoness, an incomparably beautiful woman. However, she looked even more beautiful. He was like a holy angel, with a pure white light appearing all over his body. What happened? How did he fly out? What's going on? What was that tremendous force just now? Oh my God! How did she become beautiful again? Lan Mai herself didn't know, but she thought that she was going to die, yet she stood perfectly still with not a single hair on her head harmed. Looking at the dazed expressions of the people around her, she muttered, "What's wrong?" Long Fei laughed, "You'll know soon." That was also the sound of it. A few brawny men who were extremely perverted rushed over once again. "Little beauty, come. Big brother will take good care of you." As if a hungry tiger pouncing on a sheep, it wanted to hug Lan Mai. However, just as they were a few centimeters away from Lan Mai's heart tightened. Whoosh! Boom! A loud explosion resounded. A halo of light burst out from her clothes, enveloping those men. Buzz! 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 They were all suspended in the air, as if they had lost gravity. All of them were stupefied. What's going on? What kind of power is this? Just when everyone was astonished, the light of light flickered, and the men in mid-air were sent flying 1,000 meters away. Bang, bang, bang. A few buildings were completely smashed into smithereens. Stupid. As they looked at the broken holes of the buildings in the distance, all of the Gold Warriors were stunned. They looked afar in a daze, then looked at Lan Mai. Lan Mai was also startled, and muttered, just now, what happened? How could I have such a strong power? It was also at this time. She looked at Long Fei and said, could it be? Lowering her head to look at her clothes, she joyfully asked, is this clothes on me a spiritual treasure? Soul treasure? What spiritual treasure had such an automatic defense system? What spiritual treasure could erupt with power in one's subconscious? Which was also Long Fei. Of course. It was also because of the memories in his previous life that he had spent a lot of effort to infuse his structure into the armor. Moreover, only after a few days did he succeed in a few pieces of armor. Of course. Long Fei's current level of making technique was not high, adding the fact that the material was simple, the battle uniform was only in the initial stages. Without the help of the Green Dragon's power, it would be difficult for even Long Fei to complete the first stage. Long Fei looked at Lan Mai's joyous expression and laughed faintly. Do you like it? Lan Mai smiled and nodded, and said, "En." Long Fei laughed, it's good that you like it. Seeing Lan Mai's smile, Long Fei was happy. After Lan Yuan died, Lan Mai didn't laugh that much. He promised Lan Yuan that he would take good care of her. Lan Mai looked at Long Fei excitedly, and said, then am I unrivaled now? Long Fei's legs moved, and he sprung up from the ground. He swept a glance to both sides of the street and said, in this place, you are invincible. Really? Lan Mai became even more excited. Long Fei nodded, and said, it's true. He. I've always dreamed of being able to train, but training was also for another dream. Lan Mai laughed mischievously. Actually, my dream is to be invincible. Long Fei. He was speechless. Lan Mai's gaze swept the area, looking at the surrounding stunned golden warrior. He said, "Did you hear that? I am unrivaled right now. If you don't want to die, then move to the side." His tone instantly changed from a gentle lady of a noble family to a young girl. "Get out of the way, do you hear me? I'm talking about you. What are you looking at?" Lan Mai pointed at a person. That person was stunned, but he did not retreat, much less dodge to the side. Lan Mai suddenly moved, directly rushing in front of him. The idea moved. Wang. The warrior floated into the air, not just him. Several people around him were enveloped in halos of light and suddenly flew into the air. Boom, boom, boom. They were all blasted away. Ha ha ha. I'm really invincible. Get out of the way, get out of the way. Whoever dares to stand in my way will have to get to the city wall. She walked back to Long Fei's side, and with one hand holding Long Fei's arm, she said, "Did you all hear that? I let you guys get out of the way." Those people did not dare to approach. All of them were retreating. Long Fei also smiled faintly. I never thought that a gentle girl would actually have a domineering woman in her heart. Lan Mai laughed heartily. Actually, I wish I was a boy. This way, I could be a hero, fight against injustice, be invincible all the way. Hey. Long Fei said, "If you were a man, then I definitely wouldn't let you hold my hand." Lan Mai giggled, and said, "I am a man, I will also like you." Inside the house. One of them was very upset. A bunch of useless trash. You can't even deal with a woman with blockages in her meridians. Is she used to **T? Her voice was gloomy. Moreover, it was so thick that it seemed to come from an old man. However, no, the man sitting on the seat of honor, whose eyes were slightly closed from the start, was a young man. Lian Wuchao. The moment he opened his eyes, his pupils shone with a faint, cold blue light. The few elders in the room shuddered, and their expressions were displeased. They were dissatisfied with Lian Wuchao, but they did not dare to say anything. The current Lian Wuchao was no longer the Lian Wuchao of the past. Not only was his cultivation incredible, his talent was incredible. More importantly, he had obtained the support of a powerful force. A mysterious and powerful force. Otherwise, how could Lian family become a noble? Young Master Lian, the soul treasure on her body is a little strange. I'm afraid. Without waiting for him to finish, Lian Wuchao glared, trash. While they were talking, Lian Wuchao walked to the side of the window and looked at the distant Lan Mai, who had a complacent expression. The corners of his eyes twitched slightly, and he sneered, "Today, it just so happens to be my little brother's 37, so I'll use your life as an offering to his soul." With that, the figure disappeared. The next second. Rumble. A loud explosion resounded. The halo around Lan Mai's body suddenly shattered, his body sunk slightly as his face turned white. Long Fei's eyes also tensed up. Lian Wuchao. Lian Wuchao sneered, "I'll send you to hell today." Green Dragon Battle Suit. Long Fei moved and said solemnly, "I've been waiting for you to come out. You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.